Hi, welcome to the Bakagaijinshow. I'm your lovable rascal of a host, Zeke Freakin'. With me, as always, is my indelible co-host, Kevin Faulkner.
You can't get me off the paper.
No, you cannot be erased.
I can't be erased. I will never be erased.
Mm-hmm.
Especially not by COVID.
Yes.
Because guess who tests negative, bitches?
It's this man. It's this man who did. If I sound dejected and disappointed about that, it's because I had this cool idea that if you tested positive, we'd start the podcast by yelling at each other from 6 feet apart.
Hi, welcome to the bakagaijinshow.
Yeah, but now we can't do that. It's illegal, because, yeah. So, good job, Kevin. You fucked up my gag.
Yeah, but the better part is, I didn't fuck up the OhioCon trip.
No, the domestic terrorists will have to handle that. We're gonna get shot in public.
I can't wait. I've always wanted to die. Oh, shit.
But no, it is apparently... What?
No, I'm good.
Okay, it is apparently on, like the Donkey Kong, as people who are now 40 say.
We can't say that anymore because Nintendo trademarked it.
Oh. They did?
Yeah, like years ago they trademarked the phrase, it's on like Donkey Kong.
Some lawyers are bored.
God, that just reminds me of a gag from my gym partners, the monkey, where the principal was like, "Let's get ready to," and then the vice principal whispers in his ear, and he's like, "I've been informed I cannot say that due to trademark disputes."
Nice.
Because that's another thing that like the WWE has that trademarked too. It's weird that you can trademark phrases now. It's weird.
It just keeps going. In other recent news, I've recently filed a trademark for Chow Chow for now, so let's see how that goes.
You're the only person who does it that I know of.
Exactly. I feel like I have a case to make.
You are the originator.
No one ever said that before me.
No one has ever done that in the history of Dota!
And now it's a wildly popular saying that's sweeping America.
Or at the very least, sweeping your close friend groups.
Well, hopefully. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to trademark Primo Kino. Something else I'm going to do.
Ah, yeah. Make sure no one else can use it.
No, they can use it. They just have to pay me royalties.
Pay up, bitch. $5.
Yep. Now that would be Primo Kino.
Now you have to give yourself $5.
I like how this works. My net gain is 0, but my net loss is also 0. Everything's coming up 0.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
You can't say that. They have that trademark.
Fuck! Damn it, now I have to pay Matt Groening $5.
It never ends!
No! Oh, boy.
But no, apparently it is back on, so we will be venturing out into public, for better or worse.
I found out just the other night, too, that Michael Sinter-Nicholas is going there as a guest, so fun.
I can't approach him, though, because if I mispronounce his name, I might die.
He played the lead Ninja Turtle.
Did he now?
Yeah, he played Leonardo in the 03 series.
Oh, I was thinking of the 86 series, and that one clip where he goes, "Hi, I'm Leonardo."
Yeah, no, that's oh god, that's Cam Clark. That's Cam Clark.
I've just realized that Cam Clark is old.
He's very old. He's been in this business for quite a while. So is Rob Paulson. Did you know he was in the original G.I. Joe cartoon?
I could have figured. I would have guessed. If you asked me that question with a gun to my head, I would have said yes, and I would have survived.
He played a character called Snow Job.
Nice. Based.
Based Snow Job. So, Zeke.
Yes. What? Yes.
Aside from, testing negative for the gout,
yeah.
That's not what that is.
The gout's really going around. It's crazy.
What else have we been up to?
My father has gout.
Oh.
Do you feel bad now?
I'm sorry. A little bit.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, so Dying Light 2 came out. I've been playing that.
Oh, nice. How was that?
Been trying to stay human, as it were, as they say, as they keep telling me. You know, we should have known IGN's review was garbage when they couldn't even get the name right in the thumbnail.
What'd they call it?
Well, the thumbnail says Dying Light 2 Staying Human. So, you know, just classic professional journalism.
At least they didn't call it Dying Light 2 Too Human.
Too fast, too human. No, I really enjoy it. I've played a few hours so far. I'm still in like the starting area, not like the tutorial, but like the starting zone before you get to like the city proper. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. The first game had like this amazing gameplay loop with its day-night cycles and its progression of abilities and equipment and such like that. And this seems to be continuing on much the same vein of resource gathering and building better things and getting better skills. And it's nice to have another zombie-filled city to fuck around in and progress a character in. It's been a good time so far, but I've barely scratched the surface because, as you know, this is a very big game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Big game.
Yeah. It's an open world game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Open world games tend to be pretty damn big.
Yeah.
Which shocks me because there is an open world game that came out recently, the new Pokemon game, and I have people who like 3 days after the game came out already hit endgame. Like, damn, slow down.
Crazy.
Jeez, it's almost like some of you people do this for a living. Oh wait, some of you actually do.
Yeah, are these people streamers, Kevin? Have they played this game 15 hours a day? Because that might explain it.
A couple of them are streamers, a couple of them are YouTubers, a couple of them are just my friends, and I don't know where their free time is coming from. What the fuck?
Well, I've seen the photos, Kevin. People are playing it at funerals. People are playing it at fucking board meetings, at murder trials. It's a whole thing.
I did see the one where someone was playing it at a murder trial.
Yeah.
Just holding the Switch up while the prosecutor is like grilling somebody on the witness
I mean, like,
stand.
as someone who's sat in on court cases before, I can tell you, it's more mundane than you'd expect.
I can imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just too slowly paced, not dynamic enough. Didn't we have that whole spiel like 12 episodes ago about more dynamic lawyering?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I can't remember. I couldn't remember if that was a conversation I had with you or my brother.
No, I think
where I'm like, you know, court proceedings aren't cinematic enough.
Yeah, no, I think we did have that conversation. Yeah.
Maybe, or maybe I was relaying something I also did with my brother. I don't know. I don't remember. Everything's a blur. We're all gonna die someday.
You talk to me a lot.
It's true. It's true.
You're one of my favorite people to yak at.
Exactly. Kevin, be honest with me. Do you text me more than your boyfriend?
Only because you text me more often.
Well, yeah, but, you know, it's only because you're so available.
I am. Thank you.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is it's your fault.
Look, my baby's busy. They got their things they gotta do.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just saying if we were both dangling in cages over pools of acid, there's a decision to be made.
The conversations would be amazing.
Exactly.
So you've been playing Dying Light 2?
Yes, I've been playing Dying Light 2, Stay Human. I did finish... it's actually crazy, because last episode I said I was watching Shakugan no Shana, and when we recorded that, I was a few episodes from the end of Season 2, and I said, there's no way I'm going to do this in a week, there's no way I'm going to watch all of Season 3 in one day, then I did exactly that.
You watched all of Season 3 in a day.
Well, almost. I did watch like 5 or 6 episodes of it the night before, but that's only because I finished season 2 in the OVAs faster than I expected.
Yeah.
So not technically in one day, but I still binged the entire show in less than a week.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
He's close enough.
he's close enough. And now I'm working on the video script. But I did take a break to write more directs. I'm trying to get a lot of things done. It's a lot of stuff.
Nice.
I'm still undecided if I'm taking my laptop with me. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to do more work while I'm there.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, I'm definitely taking my laptop with me, but it's not to play work. It's to play Halo.
Yeah, I see. That said, I don't think we're going to be doing an episode there.
Probably not. No.
No, I don't know if you know anything about microphones. They're awkwardly shaped.
Literally have one in front of my face right now, and this is a fact.
Yeah, they're awkwardly shaped. They're hard to travel with. I got this whole fucking cage set up. I'm gonna be honest, Kev. I don't want to move this. I don't want to fuck with it because it's like a very tight fucking soundproof cage and a pop filter, and there's a Kingdom Hearts book on top of it with some trash, and it's like locked in this one specific area of my desk where it'll fit, and everything's crowded around it. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to move it. I don't want to fuck with it.
Yeah, it's like, imagine trying to bring that over. It ends up being in this like giant gunmetal briefcase. It's like, oh man, where's he going? He looks super important. Is he an assassin? You just open it up and it's just a condenser mic.
What's up? I gotta record a podcast that like 4 people listen to.
What are you doing today?
Mm-hmm.
What do you gotta do that's important?
I'm planning on dying tonight. What are your plans?
I'm gonna record a podcast.
Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, so I did finish that, and then I finished Sam and Max Save the World remastered, and then I still had to wait a bit, so I just wrote stuff until Dying Light 2 came out.
Yeah.
Also, I went to work.
Yeah. I read one of the things that you wrote.
Yes.
Yes.
And you listened to the other thing I finished.
Yes, I did.
Yes, I think it was true last time too, but the True Colors video is still out, weirdly. It's weird how those things don't disappear.
It's a great
But it's
essay.
there.
Go listen to it.
Yeah. So I'm working on more Drex. I'm working on the Shakugan no Shana script.
Love how the first comment you got on that was like, you get it.
I'm glad to be the one who gets it. And then also sometimes I add stuff to a secret third thing. Kevin knows what it is. You don't, and you won't yet.
But soon,
you
will know.
Yeah, soon I'll have some art, and I'll probably share it because I don't know, I can't resist making it my profile picture. Maybe I don't know. It'll probably happen. Let's be honest. It's destined, fated, prophesized.
It's the Guided Fate paradox.
It's not Guided Fate paradox. Okay. Yeah, so that's basically what I've been doing. I guess now I gotta like prepare or something.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta go borrow my brother's suitcase and throw a bunch of shit in it.
Yep.
Honestly, the hardest part is gonna be getting clean clothes together because I don't own that many clothes. So it's like I want to get the clean clothes together, but then what am I gonna wear until it happens?
Yeah, day before I'm gonna have to do a load of laundry so I can have a few different changes of clothes.
Yeah. The most awkward thing about going on vacation is the days before where you have to wear your least favorite clothing that barely fits because you want to get all your good clothes clean.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. Just having to wear the lamest shirt until you actually have to leave so you can put on your good shirt.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I have like a Hatsune Miku shirt, a Shantae shirt, and a Pac-Man shirt. And like those are my 3 good shirts.
Well, I'm rocking, the best husbando. You might recognize him. He's a man by the name of Levi Strauss.
Ah. So. Gotta put on my Levi's.
It's not the one you're thinking of.
Yeah.
It's an elderly German man who made shoes.
Yeah.
But yeah, but what if you do things?
I do things, yes. Normally I don't, so this week is an outlier.
He's defying all expectations.
I am actually being productive.
Oh.
I know, I'm sorry, I had to use the word.
Yeah, I know. Hate that word. Also, I already called you indelible. You can't be both things. That's impossible.
True. But I'm productive at being indelible.
I guess that's more of a state of being than an activity.
It is. It's just kind of what you are.
It's like saying I'm working really hard to cycle blood.
Well, anyway.
You think if I focus hard enough, I can make it go faster? Just circulate the blood.
Go faster, damn you!
I think it's pretty fixed. I don't think that's.
Yeah.
Sure.
That said, the last week I have been quite busy. Not been playing games as much as you, but I have been watching a lot of shit.
I knew this.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm surprised. I knew this.
Over the last week, I've begun my trek, catching up through the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Thor: The Dark World.
Everyone's favorite sleeping aid.
I literally almost fell asleep during that movie. I had to take a power nap to get through it. I got 20 minutes in.
Well, then you did fall asleep. What do you mean you almost fell asleep?
It's like,
yeah.
I got 20 minutes in, started dozing off, and I'm like, fuck, I can't get through this right now. Power nap, and then I watched the rest, but the entire time I was just like, when does it get good?
There's no almost about it. You did.
Oh, God. Thor: The Dark World is really bad. But then, I saw Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite of Thor: The Dark World. Thor: The Dark World is bland, boring, and gray. Winter Soldier is literally none of those things. It has, oh god, Winter Soldier's good. Like, that's one of those movies where it's like, I didn't expect it to be as entertaining as it was. It's got kind of this, like, gritty spy espionage kind of feel to it. People have compared it to being, like, the closest thing we have to a Metal Gear Solid movie, and that's accurate.
Yeah.
It's so good. Oh my god. Amazing how much, like, plot and character development actually happens in that movie. It takes Captain America, who is pretty cool in the previous movies. I didn't dislike, Steve Rogers in the previous few Marvel MCU movies, but, like, he's fucking badass in that movie. Dude, it's the first movie where it really feels like he is a super soldier, and he's not a slightly more buff and slightly more fast soldier. It's like, no, this guy can whoop your ass, take a beating, and keep getting back up over and over, and you just wonder, why won't you fucking die?
Yeah.
God, I was really impressed by Winter Soldier. That was a great movie. But not as impressed as I was with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy is fucking fantastic. I love that movie. Oh my god, I love everything in that movie. It was such a fun movie. I actually kind of like the villain, too. He's not like a deep villain, but he's entertaining.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah. I fucking love the ending of the movie where it's like, the villain is like gloating because he has defeated the heroes, and then suddenly Star-Lord gets up and starts doing a dance routine, and he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm distracting you.
It's pretty great.
God. Guardians of the Galaxy. The author license for James Gunn ended up doing that movie amazing favors, because of the MCU movies I've seen up to this point, which currently stops at Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm gonna watch Age of Ultron tonight.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Age of Ultron isn't as mid as everyone says it is.
Yeah.
It can't be worse than Thor: The Dark World. But we might not like Joss Whedon anymore, but he did do a few good things.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping at least a little bit of the classic Joss Whedon charm comes through.
Yeah.
But that said, Guardians of the Galaxy, more so than the previous MCU movies, has such a really engaging visual style. Like, it is a colorful movie, which is so much different from all the other MCU movies, because, let's be fair, MCU movies tend to look kind of bland, kind of gray, kind of, at best, gunmetal.
Yeah, they gotta make it muted and dark so you can't tell how rushed the CG is.
But, like, you know, Guardians actually goes for, like, a really fun and creative visual style, and it works wonders for the movie. It is such a creative movie.
Yeah.
Also, currently holds the record for the fastest hook in a Marvel movie, for me.
Yeah.
Because the opening scene alone, by the time the Marvel Studios logo rolls, I'm like, all right, movie, you got me. You hooked me. I'm in. Let's see where this goes. It's just a fun ride all the way through. I fucking love Guardians. Guardians is so good. I fucking love Rocket Raccoon. Oh my god. Fucking this little ratty-ass looking talking raccoon alien thing ends up being one of the best parts of this movie.
Yeah.
God. The thing is, when I remember when Guardians was originally announced and when the trailers were coming out, everyone thought that movie was going to be bad. Everyone thought that movie was gonna suck. It's like, oh god, this is the guy that wrote Scooby-Doo?
No. It's the guy who wrote Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. But now, you know, everyone's actually seen Guardians, and it's considered one of the best MCU movies, and for very good reason.
You see, I saw Scooby-Doo, and it was balls on a filmmaker, so I had no doubts.
See, I like the first Scooby-Doo movie.
Yeah.
Not so much the second one, but the first one.
Yeah.
I'm just reminded of the Jello Apocalypse video where he just goes over all the Scooby-Doo characters, and he's like, it's like, I don't remember if this is something that James Gunn actually said, but apparently he wanted to use the Scooby-Doo movie to ruin Scrappy-Doo, and he kind of succeeded.
Yeah. Never really used them since.
The one time that they did was literally a joke in Mystery Incorporated about how they'd never talk about Scrappy-Doo anymore.
Yep.
We all promised we would never talk about him. Not ever.
You stand a legend.
Look away, Daphne! Like some fucking eldritch abomination horror beyond comprehension. Scrappy-Doo.
Yeah.
But yeah, loved Guardians. Looking forward to Volume 2 later on.
Yep.
But yeah, my current plan for the MCU is to get up to Civil War. Then I'm going to take a break for a bit, do some other stuff, including watch Shakugan no Shana, which I saw episodes 1 through 6 yesterday. That was really good. Like, that show hooks you pretty fast.
Yeah, I've always thought that. I think the introduction is really good.
It's a first episode that's very front-loaded with info, but it's done in a way that actually makes you wonder what all of this shit actually means and where everything is going to go from here. Like, it introduces interesting ideas rather than just throwing words at you willy-nilly. Like, it's good world building. It's well done.
Yeah. The first few episodes are also very contemplative.
They are.
Yeah. And
like,
I think a lot of that... Go on. You go.
Like, a lot of the first 6 episodes really focus around Yuji coming to terms with his current situation of, so I died at some point previously, and now I'm just residue from the existence that I was before. At some point, my existence will fade away, and I will have never existed. or it will be as if I have never existed. No one will remember me.
Yeah.
And it's him kind of struggling with that inner turmoil and trying to figure out, it's like, you know, if I can't fix this, how can I make sure that I am remembered, even if it's just by one person?
Yeah.
And I fucking love everything about that. That's so good. It's so compelling.
Yeah. That really, it comes up every now and then. It's a pretty core foundation of his character. And then also just, I like the uniqueness of the concept of power of existence itself, because functionally it looks and feels like just souls, but like it's not actually literally souls. The way the power of existence is described is that it's something's ability to affect the world around it.
Yeah.
And so when something loses all power of existence, it's not just gone. It basically, I mean, it did exist, but like it's like it never existed. Its influence on the world is reduced to null, which it's just a very interesting concept.
It is.
Yeah, and like everything has that, which is in the material world, which is interesting.
I like that they actually showcase this in a visual way by having one of Yuji's classmates actually, you know, have their existence eaten by one of the Crimson Denizens, and we just slowly see her fade away, to the point where even the picture that they had just taken at the arcade that very day, suddenly she's just not there anymore.
Yeah. It's a really strong, I think it's a really strong pilot because it demonstrates it in such palpable terms how futile going against just the way the world works is, which is basically what he tries to do the whole time by trying to basically force her influence on the world around her. Yeah. But like it's all for naught. Like that's just not how the world works.
I also love Shauna's character here. I love that like a good chunk of her character development here is literally just her being unable to comprehend the fact that it's like, why do I keep thinking about Yuji? What is it about this motherfucker? He's just all he is a torch. What the fuck is happening to me?
Yep.
She cannot comprehend the fact that she likes this dude.
Yeah. Well, it's like, yeah.
The fact that he sees her as more than just a flame haze, and she's beginning to see him as more than just a torch.
Yeah. I also really like that there's like, it's not arbitrary. Like there's a very specific like inciting incident for that when he offers up his own power of existence to fix the classroom.
Yep, I love that scene so much because she was expecting him to just be like, he's just like all the other torches. He's going to get scared and he's just going to run off, and he's just like, no, that is a possibility. You could use me to fix all this shit.
Good point.
You just like, wait a minute.
It connects. No, and that's like such a it's a very like direct and palpable establishment of his self-sacrificing nature, which is like it would have been very easy to like bulldoze over this sort of thing by making it just like inferred, like, oh, you know, as he just hangs around, you know, she sees him as more than just a torch. But no, like there's actually like a palpable inciting reason why, and like there's more reasons to come, obviously, and there obviously it does have a lot to do with just being around each other. Yeah. But like I like that there's like a very explicit cause. Yeah, that like kind of shakes her worldview.
I just love that she's just like, she is trying to bluff him out of this, just like, you know, call his bluff, because it's like, she just believes he's just blustering at this point. But like, no, he literally is so goddamn selfless that he will give up his own life just to save everybody else. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot I could say, but like, yeah, I just
I'm glad you're really enjoying it, and I hope you continue to enjoy it.
One more thing that I want to bring up regarding Shauna as a character is
Okay.
her tsundere nature and how that's actually presented. This actually, so like I can see like the ways in which later tsundere characters based on Shauna have taken her just from like a surface level and have just kind of spun off from that.
Yeah.
But Shauna herself actually has a ton of character depth on her own.
Yeah.
And that's actually very noticeable in, the, at this point, cliche scene where the main character sees her naked or in a state of undress and then she beats the living shit out of him.
Which I want to point out. That is the peak of the physical violence comedy. Congratulations. What is that, like episode 4? Congratulations.
4, yeah.
Congratulations. It's peaked. It's all reduced from it's like almost over by then.
Yeah. And the only reason she did that is because she's in such a tumultuous state of mind that the fact that Yuji sees her is like, fuck, get the fuck out, get the fuck out, get the fuck out. And even Alastor brings up, girl, why are you so mad? He's just a torch.
Yeah, I really like his line.
Would you react being naked in front of a tree or a rock like that?
Yeah, like I really like it because it serves that explicit purpose of showing that she is starting to see him as more than just this NPC destined to be deleted.
And literally every other clone of Shauna afterwards misses this very key distinction.
Yeah, like it's so like her dismissal of him is not only extremely short-lived, but it was also like actually contextualized by both her character and the world itself in a way that later Shauna clones never really managed to do. It's always just a personality trait. Yeah. When in the OG, it was way more properly contextualized and three-dimensional.
God, Shauna's so good.
Yeah, and I really can't get over the fact that like, because like the physical like abuse comedy becomes such a staple of her ripoffs, but like I'm telling you, episode 4, that's the peak. Like, there's almost nothing after that.
Also, in the previous episode, she gets a teacher to commit suicide just by talking to him.
Yes, it's incredible.
I fucking love that scene. It's just like the apocalypse is upon us. I can't live in this world anymore. Goodbye. Jumps out the fucking window.
Yeah, just keep that in mind in any and all future character development. This is the same girl that made a teacher jump out a window.
Oh my god. God, this show is so good. Yeah, I'm probably gonna watch the whole thing over the next week, but. Yeah. That's not the only anime that I watched this week.
Yes, but we'll talk about that in the next segment.
So, yeah, that's what I've been up to. Been having a good time. Been making my way downtown, walking fast,
walking faster. Yeah, no, it is a weight off my shoulders that you've taken so well to the first 6 episodes.
How can I not? There's just so much good shit.
That was my thought process, but you never, it's like showing a YouTube video to someone and hoping they laugh. Like that, you never get over that feeling when it doesn't work.
Yeah, true.
And they just don't get what you love about it.
You're still hung up on the fact that I watched 10 episodes of Shinseki Ayori and I was just like, I can't.
Because I need you to understand how traumatizing that was for me. Because Shinseki Ayori is like gospel in animated form, and you're just like, eh. I'm like,
to be fair, I went into Shinseki Ayori with the wrong expectations, and I was just struggling throughout the entire show trying to rationalize that. So, again, I'm probably going to return to it at some point. With a better frame of mind.
Yeah. Not now though. You got another show that has shh in it.
True.
What a weird coincidence. We're all about the sounds. I had this thought in the car the other day. We had this conversation. I don't think it was on the podcast. I think it was just privately, where I said that the urusai thing, Shauna's catchphrase.
Yeah.
Which she says less often than you'd think, by the way. But also, like I said, there's kind of it, like shut up hits different. It's a different vibe, and we theorize that's because it doesn't. The thing about urusai is that you can chain them together in a nice flow, like urusai. Yeah, but like with shut up, there's that hard consonant there and that space between the words, so it's like shut up, and like that's endearing enough. But I had this thought in the car where I'm like, what if they translated it as silence? Because I think that maintains the phonetic flow a bit better.
It does, but it also sounds a bit too formal for Shauna.
That's also that was my second thought. That's also true. Look, I'd already kind of dismissed it in my head. Like, I know why they didn't do this, but I wanted to bring it up because I thought Kevin would find it interesting. Yeah.
To be fair, Tabitha St. Germain does a really good job of making it work. Just like she sounds so annoyed. It's like, shut up.
Yeah. In later seasons, Jeremy does a pretty good job too.
Yeah.
It's a bit more. You'll see. You'll find out.
I am taking the dub, by the way.
Yes, we talked about that. The 2000s Ocean Group dubs with their weird fucking warm ass microphones.
Warm, very bassy sounding microphones. Like,
you know what their microphones sound like? It sounds like what you might imagine a microphone sounds like if it got lost in a couch cushion.
Oh god, a little bit.
And you're like, oh, it's kind of warm, but it's still good, you know.
It's still good.
Especially combined with this is something I'm gonna make note of in the essay, and something I think I mentioned to you when I was live watching. No, when I was watching it while I was alive a while ago. It wasn't really live watching; it was just me DMing you sometimes.
Yeah.
But something I mentioned is that, especially in these early episodes, there is so much narration because this is an older light novel adaptation where the industry hadn't decided that narration is bad for some reason. I don't know why they decided that. It's fucking stupid.
I think I think by that metric you'll like Haruhi Suzumiya because everything is seen through Kyon's point of view, and he is a sassy motherfucker and also an unreliable narrator. And the KyoAni, they were very clever in how they got across the fact that Kyon is an unreliable narrator in animation.
Okay. Well, back to my point. Okay. Thank you. Is that this was before people who adapt light novels to anime decide a narration is bad for some reason, which is why people always think main characters in light novels are so bland. It's because the adaptations make them more bland because they excise half of the shit where their character is expressed.
Yeah.
But I really like that Shauna didn't do that, because Yuji's mindset is much more immersive because he is just constantly narrating his thoughts and feelings about things. But combine that with these warm, bassy, very close-up microphones, and it almost sounds like an audiobook at points.
A bit.
Which
I really like that.
Interesting. Yeah, which is interesting. Yeah. God, it's excising narration is just such a dumb trend. You know, it's half the reason people don't like Kirito is because like half of his fucking character is just left on the page. And the weird thing is that like I have tangible proof of this because the first few episodes of Alicization actually have a lot of Kirito's inner monologues from the novels. And people were in the discussion threads were like, what the fuck? I like Kirito now. Where the hell where was this guy 2 seasons ago?
Gosh, it's almost like the narration is half of where his character is expressed and developed. What the fuck?
Yeah, and then like after the first like half of the first core, they just kind of stopped doing that. I'm like, oh, come on. You were so close.
You almost had it.
Yeah, like when you write a character through narration like that, and I understand, you know, when you convert to a visual medium, you know, cuts have to be made. You just can't, Kevin.
Yeah.
You can't all fit it all in. But like, you gotta try because so much of the characterization, because that's like, good writers don't waste words like that, you know?
Yeah.
The narration's not just there for fun, for shits and giggles, you know, like that's where you express characterization. So if you remove too much of that, you're just removing characterization and making these main characters much more bland than they need to be.
I hate to bring up Haruhi again. Who am I kidding? I love to bring up Haruhi again, but
Do it, whatever. At least it's not fucking Transformers.
that's another reason why I like the Haruhi movie, especially the Haruhi anime, especially the movie. The movie in particular is so. The Disappearance novel is actually one of the shortest Haruhi novels at 183 pages.
Yeah.
But the movie is really goddamn long. It's almost 3 hours. And a lot of the reasons...
It can dedicate almost a minute per page.
Yeah, it actually does adapt most of the narration from the book into the film. And a lot of the adaptation just spends time expanding on the visuals of the story, actually showcasing how the characters are feeling in a visual standpoint.
Yeah. On
top of actually showcasing, what Kyon's active thoughts, feelings, and mindset actually are. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's also why I think you will continue to enjoy going through Shakugan no Shana, is that it's also a very interesting... It's also interesting going back in time and looking how anime studios adapted things in ye olden times.
The far-off year of 2005.
I mean, it really was a long time ago at this point.
It was. It's 17 years ago at this point.
Yeah, it was a different world, and the pipeline hadn't really been established yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure at some point we're gonna have a whole fucking topic on Shakugan no Shana. Not till you finish the whole thing though, because I don't really have as much to say on a season by season basis. So
yeah.
So it'll probably be a topic at some point. But what's going to be a topic right now? We're going to talk about Mushoku Tensei.
Because I just finished it.
Yes.
Yeah, baby!
Stay tuned after the break.
The following segment of the bakagaijinshow contains full spoilers for the Mushoku Tensei anime. Skip to the time shown on screen if you wish to avoid spoilers.
And we're back.
Again.
We're here to talk about Mushoku Tensei. Now, Kevin, if I seem a little reactive in this conversation, it's because for me it's been a while.
Okay. That's a problem because I don't know where to start.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't we start where all great stories start, the beginning. But also sometimes the middle in a media res kind of way, but not this time.
Mushoku Tensei, it's isekai, but good.
Yeah, it's good. And the first thing I think that makes it really good is the fact that nowhere before have I ever seen the reborn in another world concept explored in such finite detail.
Yeah.
I meant minute. It's also finite, but it's also minute.
Yeah, because you actually do get to see Rudeus grow from M baby all the way up to, I think he's 12 or 13 at the end of the series. And there's just so much development that actually happens during that time period, and you get to see a lot of it. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's the first time that you're in for something different, because any other series that have just sped past this shit in a montage.
Yeah, it's just and that was my childhood.
Yeah, but it actually spends the time to develop it, because it's not, being reborn is not the start of the story. Being reborn is the story.
Yeah, it's jobless reincarnation. That's the key point.
Yeah.
And another way that it actually works to the show's benefit is a lot of your emotional investment in these episodes is based around how much you actually give a shit about the characters. Yeah. And a lot of time is spent developing not just Rudy as a character, but also his relationship with his family, as well as his family members in and of themselves.
Yeah.
You get time to spend with his mom, dad, the maid that his dad knocks up.
Yeah. Of course.
God. And you get a lot of these very small character moments too. Like, something I never expected to see in this series was actually the ramifications of Rudy's dad knocking up the maid. We actually could see the entire thing where, like, the mom is despondent trying to figure out what to do. The maid is very sorry, and Paul is just over here like, honey, and she's just like, shut the fuck up! I'm trying to figure this out! You're an asshole!
Yeah. Yeah. I also like how he has to come to a because the maid kind of made a move on him, but Rudius has to leave that detail out to sort of protect the unborn child. Mm-hmm. So he basically has to throw his dad under the bus.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah,
because like,
but I like how he even acknowledges, like, I'm sorry I didn't get to represent you the most fairly here, but I'm trying to make a baby not freeze to death. Yeah,
it's kind of for the better of everybody that you just take this bullet, Dad. Sorry.
Yeah.
God.
I'd like the dynamic between Rudius and Paul is one of my favorite things about the show. Not only because it's one of those things that no other isekai would ever fucking do, but it's just such an interesting dynamic because they're weirdly similar people, but not because they're father and son, but you almost get, like, in a cosmic sense, these guys being father and son almost makes too much sense in a way.
The man god really orchestrated that one perfectly, didn't he?
Yeah. It's also just interesting that, like, Rudius is technically mentally older than his own father.
Yeah, that's interesting. He actually retains all of his knowledge of his previous life, as well as all of his life experiences, but that ends up working to his benefit as a character, because there were so many flaws and so many, like, issues he had in his previous life, so many character flaws that he had, that he, in this new life, has the opportunity to grow past them and become the better person that he was never able to be in his previous life. Yeah.
But what I really respect about the series is the fact that it doesn't pull any punches, in the fact that it doesn't try to sugarcoat the fact that this is an adult man, and not the most sane, not the most, like, responsible of adult men in a baby's body growing forward. And that, not only is that idea fascinating, but it's also explored without restraint, and that comes across as unsavory to people, but that's kind of how it would play out, so I really respect it for that reason.
It's at the very least interesting. A lot of it might not be the most, comfortable thing, or even the most, ethical, but some of the most interesting stories are things that explore non-ethical things.
I would just say, like, distasteful.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like, I think people, like, I am not perturbed by the fact that not everything has to be for everyone. If you can't stomach this, I don't know, get out. I don't care about you.
I actually understand if people can't stand the main character in this. It's understandable.
Sure.
But I think it's interesting. I think it's fascinating. I think it makes for a really good concept. And the way it's explored is really unique.
It's immersive and it's interesting, and if you open your mind a little bit, it might even be an empathetic experience, because I think, like, what this lack of restraint allows them to do really is demonstrate that, like, people are very complicated and layered, and, like, people have a tendency to be reductionist to fictional characters that by their nature are already kind of reduced to begin with.
Yep.
By the nature of the time span and just what you need an audience to understand. So when you provide them with something this nuanced and this, complex and this gray, they don't know how to fucking handle it, and that's why I say it's not for everyone, because some people are stupid, and that's fine. But, like, I'm trying to put the words together, trying to communicate this thought here. Like Rudy's perversions and Rudy's occasionally less than savory behavior, they don't actually contradict the fact that he's actually a shockingly heroic person.
He is. Now, admittedly, a lot of that is by nature of the fact that he's kind of treating this like a JRPG up to a point.
It kind of wavers, I think.
It does. There's definitely points where he has the option of just not doing the right thing and just ignoring it because it would be too much hassle for him, but he still goes out of his way to do the right thing, even if it ends up nearly getting him killed on multiple occasions.
Yeah, and that's just the sign of great three-dimensional character writing, when you have your flaws, your virtues, and your idiosyncrasies. And by idiosyncrasies, I mean the apartment gag, because that's the greatest gag of all time.
I love that. Every time he gets put into a prison, it's just like, man, check out this cool free apartment I just got into.
You know, the accommodations aren't great, but can you complain? It's free.
I love how the second time around, he's just like, fuck it, I've already done that joke.
Yeah. It's pretty good, though. Yeah, but like, it's just a great example of just three-dimensional character building, and it's not so simple. You know, you can't, you know, I like that Rudy isn't a good or bad person, because none of us are good or bad people. We're just people, you know?
Yeah, and I think part of the reason why we kind of think of Rudy as being, you know, kind of a worse person than, you know, he might appear on the outside is because it kind of goes off of what we were talking about in the previous segment. This is an anime where we actually hear all of his internal thoughts.
Yes.
So we hear everything he is thinking about in terms of his thought process about doing literally anything.
Mm-hmm. And the other, and like in relation to that, I feel like people overestimate themselves
A little bit.
I feel, and that it's just like, would you be that different, at least in your thoughts? I don't think you would be. I think if you say you were, then you're a fucking liar, you know? And I feel like that's something that people aren't often confronted with. So, because, you know, everyone's thoughts are their own.
Yeah.
But when the reality of this kind of situation is laid out and explored for you, people might start, you know, recognizing how uncomfortable it could potentially be. But that's what makes it a fascinating and interesting, you know, thought experiment, you know, like how do you interact with the new world when you're reborn in this way? Like, watching these early episodes especially made me consider, you know, if I was reborn in another world, or even the same world, with all my memories and personality intact, you know, how would that influence how I interact in a new life, you know? I think the quote unquote mental gap between him and his love interest sort of makes people uncomfortable. But
yeah,
when you really stop and think about it, it's like he's never going to be in a situation where that ever lines up then, if you really take that into account, you know, because it's not like this fucking like 6-year-old boy can just date a fucking 40-year-old woman.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, that would cause problems on the other end of the spectrum.
yeah So like, when you're in a situation where the numbers or whatever don't line up, it's like, are you just saying that he should never find love? Because that's kind of a shitty thing for you to say. Why would you say that?
And
why would you say that?
And like, to be fair, the people that he does end up having like a romantic interest in, Eris and Roxy,
yeah,
are actually very mature people. And Roxy in particular, we find out later, she's in her 30s or 40s.
Yeah, but like, I'm just trying to get to the point where it's like, people, especially these days, hyperfixate on numbers and, you know, supposed metrics of emotional maturity, which is a weird thing to do in this case, because Rudius himself doesn't have the emotional maturity that his actual age would suggest. So in my mind, it kind of balances out anyway.
I guess.
But yeah, but like, it's a twofold conversation, because on the one hand, in this fictional setting, these sorts of things are just completely besides the fucking point.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just that kind of weird fridge logic that people like to be like, man, if this was really happening, the ethics, the metrics, the optics, that's the word I was looking for. The optics. You got to think about the optics, Kevin. But like on the other hand, I'm just like, I like that it explores that, and it's like, if I was actually in that situation, what would I do? I don't. And when you're into these complex situations, there are no right or wrong answers. It just is. Things just are, and people do what they do. It's like I just said. There's no good or bad people. There's just people, and sometimes they do things that hurt, and sometimes they do things that help.
That's actually that's actually a large part of the story too. Is just none of these, like, a lot of the characters in this show aren't necessarily. They do things entirely because it's like, oh god, that's a good example. Brain fart, never mind.
No, I get what you're saying though. It's also, it's also just, morality is dictated by society, and this is a very different world.
It is. Like, this is a world where you're an adult at age 15.
Yeah. I mean, and there are countries like that, which is something people, like to ignore a lot of times. It's like when people act like the age of consent in California is the age of consent everywhere, and it's not,
But that's a whole different conversation.
No, I'm just saying different jurisdictions and different cultures have different ideas about these things.
Yeah.
Even within our own world, and I think it's really close-minded when people act like this number that I've been taught is the best number.
Now, to be fair, there is actually a point in this series where Rudy tries to actually, bed Eris, but then like after a bit of a unfortunate situation, the realization is made. It's just like, I should wait until I'm at least 15 before I do this.
Yeah,
like he's working under the social mores of where he's currently living,
right?
And like later on, Eris actually gets it on with him. After she turns 15, and she's just like, and he's just like, I really want to wait until I'm 15. And she's just like, dude, I want it.
Yeah, and when it finally does happen, like, it's by her initiative, which I think was the better way of going about that.
Yeah, like, she wanted it. She was consenting to it. And, like, the emotional maturity thing on Rudy's part kind of balances the whole thing out anyway, so...
Yeah, well, it's also
it's fine. It's whatever.
What you were talking about when he kind of gives it up for that time is that I like that point you brought up about him adapting to the culture of where he is and whatnot, because like I feel like that in itself is a kind of responsibility, whether or not it aligns with the viewer's personal opinions on these matters. It is a kind of maturity. It is a kind of responsibility. Where it's like, no, even here, this isn't good. This isn't right yet, Yeah.
He could have taken advantage of Eris in that moment, but he ultimately didn't. Admittedly, partially it's because she kicked his ass, but...
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, which, fair enough.
Yeah.
But like, let's get off that topic for a bit. Let's talk about how good the production is for a second.
God, this show has an amazing amount of work put into the adaptation. Visually speaking, the show is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It has this really nice visual style where, so like the entire show, with I believe the exception of whenever we're showcased Rudy's
real world
life.
flashbacks.
Yeah, real world flashbacks. Generally has like a layer of fake film grain put on it. To kind of and a little bit of like Tillicini judder to showcase that, like, it's a different world, it's more antiquated, it's not our modern world, it's kind of this medieval fantasy. Yeah, and I really like that visual design element. But also, God, this show is gorgeously animated, like beginning to end.
Yeah, Yeah, it's very well animated. There's a huge focus on just good old fashioned character acting that, you know, um, gets across so much more than so many other stiff anime out there, and combined with its heavy emphasis on post processing effects, it's a visual treat. And it also, it looks very modern, but it also looks like something great from a time forgotten.
It does. It does. It definitely has like kind of this older early 2000s fantasy vibe.
Yeah.
Fantasy anime vibe, which I love that. So it works for me.
Well,
works for me.
More modern sensibilities. And then like when the action happens, the animators just go fucking ham with it.
Yep. I fucking love just, you mentioned the character acting, and there's so much that's actually put into just very small sections of the story.
Yeah.
Any scene with Kirishika is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just this purple-haired gremlin demon girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like one of the reasons like I'm not watching as much anime as I used to. It's just because so many more productions these days are just so much more cheap, and they don't do things like this, and it just feels kind of incomplete,
Yeah. Something I actually do like about bringing it back to Shakugan no Shana, even though the animation...
I'm not going to complain about that!
Even though the animation of Shakugan no Shana is, technically speaking, more limited than a lot of other, it's more limited compared to stuff that we can get these days. The direction is really, really strong in Shakugan no Shana.
Yes.
And that's also part of what I really like about Mushoku Tensei. It has really strong visual direction.
Visual direction, and just like the direction of scenes, and just like the pacing of scenes. It's all just so fucking pitch perfect. It really just makes every other adaptation of anything look bad.
Why can't you be like Mushoku Tensei? I'll tell you why. Mushoku Tensei had 5 years of pre-production.
Unprecedented. Without precedent.
Didn't you say something like Rudy himself had like 6 different character sheets?
No, I think he has like 8 different character sheets for the different stages of him growing up. I don't remember the exact number. I think it was somewhere around there. But yeah, I remember just like when they did A&N did an interview or something with either the director or the art director or the character designer or someone important, and they were just like, well, one of the challenges was having multiple character sheets for the various age stages, specifically of Rudius and Eris, who we follow mostly through this season, because like having different designs essentially and different gradual age progression like that is actually really strenuous on a production.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that made the series harder to adapt, and also a lot more impressive that they actually fucking did that. I don't think I've seen it done so well since fucking Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood and Edward Elric having that very, very gradual growing phase between mid-teens and late teens.
Yeah, like a lot of different characters in Mushoku Tensei have that development. Like, you'll notice from the time we meet Eris, who is I think she's 9 or 10.
I think.
Yeah, she's 9 when we meet her, and she's 15 when we leave her. Visually speaking, she does mature visually quite a lot. Because it's again showcased in the 2 scenes where, Rudy attempts to have sex with her.
Yeah.
Where the first time around she has, kind of a very lithe body. But later on, damn, she's stacked.
Yeah. Oh, did you see her mom though? I mean, it's not a surprise.
Yeah, true. Even older characters like Paul have very minute changes as the years go on.
Well, Paul goes through a very drastic change. To be fair.
Yeah, the shit Paul went through in 2 years.
Yeah.
I can't blame him. The man's been through everything.
Yeah, I really like the very real family drama of the 2 episodes that comprise their reunion.
God, so
very good.
Good.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you understand where each character is coming from. You do agree that it's like, God, yeah, Paul is being a little unreasonable considering his son, as far as he knows, his son's actual age.
Yeah.
But also considering what kind of shit he had to go through in the Demon Continent for 2 years, and the fact that he came out of it completely unscathed.
Yeah.
Is kind of amazing, and it kind of does show his level of maturity that he was able to do as much as he did and protect somebody at the same time, because Rudy spent that entire 2-year period protecting Eris.
Right.
And damn, he succeeded. Now, admittedly, he had somebody to help him, with Rui Jared, and we'll get to Rui Jared. God, I love him. God, what a character. So much depth with that guy. But, you know, you gotta, like, you understand what each character individually is going through, like, what their perspective is, but you also understand they're not taking into account each other's perspective on things.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it comes down to compromise in terms of what one person expects from the other.
Yeah.
And how well they actually did considering all that actually happened. True, like, God, I kind of look at the way that Paul was talking to Rudy very similarly to how people complain about fiction, like, well, if I was in this situation, I would have done this because this is the ideal thing to do. But not everybody's going to do the ideal thing to do. Everyone has flaws. Not everyone is going to come to the same conclusion. And considering everything Rudy was going through, thrust into a different continent, you know, having to explore this friggin' death world, trying to get back home, protecting somebody along the way the entire time, and also teaching her how to be a better warrior as well. Like,
well, a lot of his misunderstanding just comes from how Rudy communicated it, and like it even gets into the fact that he made it sound like a fun adventure because he didn't want him to worry, and that just made him pissed off because he made it feel like he wasn't taking it seriously. Yeah,
that's another thing. Like, Rudy just doesn't want people to worry about him.
Yeah,
and that's both a strength and a weakness. It's a strength in that it showcases that he's very understanding and he's very empathetic of other people. But it's also a flaw in that it kind of makes him seem almost flippant in terms of how he handles certain situations. And that bites him in the ass.
Man, can you believe people don't want to watch this? This is complicated. Like, you just described that to me. I'm like, yeah. And like, as soon as you said he's empathetic, I'm like, he really is, though. But you wouldn't know that from the comments section.
He's actually a very empathetic character, but he's got so much baggage that he's dealing with at the same time. He's still got all of his demons that he's carrying with him from his previous life that he's got to get through.
Yeah, I think you even you had a nice reaction to the first time that Ghislaine like just cuts a dude's head off casually, and everyone just kind of goes about their business.
Yeah,
and he's freaking out about it.
Yeah, he just stands still and he's just like, "What the fuck just happened? Oh my god, he's dead! Oh god, that's blood! Blood is everywhere! Oh god!"
Yeah, because by that point it hadn't dawned on him that like
this is reality now.
Yeah, this ain't no isekai anime. This ain't no JRPG. Like, it's another world, and it's medieval, and just like beheading someone in the street, not as big a deal as it was back home.
Yeah,
you know?
Like that was the first indicator to Rudy that, you know, I'm not just playing a game. This is real life, and these are real lives at stake.
Yeah,
and he constantly does have to learn that going throughout the rest of the season. But by the end of it, he does come out a better person because of it.
Yeah, but and it's very gradual, and what I like about it is that, like, it's almost like there was no grand impetus for him to do so other than his own desire to have a better life than he had before.
Yeah.
And I think because I remember reading an interview with the author where he laments when people abandon others when they can still improve, and that sometimes the best way for someone to improve is kind of just to be left to their devices.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he brought up his own experience with his mother or something, where like he was in a very bad spot, and what his mother did for him really was essentially just let him live and let him not suffer so much for the consequences of his mistakes.
Yep.
And just like, and obviously like everyone's different. Some people are assholes, and that's just how it is. But like, there are a lot of people that like could change and could grow and could improve, but they won't if you hammer it. They won't if you try to make their entire life about it, you know. But if you give them that space and you empathize with them and you let them realize who they really want to be, then I think there's a surprising amount of people that can surprise you.
I'm sorry. Just a hand passing under my door giving me money.
I can understand how that'd be the juxtaposition.
Thank you.
No, it's okay. I wasn't fucking making a diatribe.
I was listening.
I get it. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, he was listening. I was just, ascribing the author's fucking emotional diatribe about his own life and how it relates to his writing. No, it's fine. Yeah. No. Which is why, this second chance, this reborn in another, like, it would be, that's the thing that I don't get about people's complaints, is the fact that, like, if he was just reborn and he was instantly, the best possible person he could be, that's not a journey. That's not a story. It would be, the whole premise is meaningless in that case.
Yeah.
It's about this life being another chance, not, well, slate's clean, time to be perfect from the get-go. It's like, so like he's going to stumble. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to fall on old habits. But I think anyone who actually sits there and like watches the whole thing, I dare you to deny the positive aspects of him that arise, his empathy and his empathy, his compassion, his heroism, yes, that arise, and like the quote unquote negative aspects of him, they never entirely go away. Some of that is just kind of foundational to who he is, but like, people are more complicated than that. It's not like you're grading them on an average curve where it's like, oh, the negative points, the presence of negatives outweigh the positives. It's like, people are complicated and you can't grade them. There's no, like, I feel like dozens of episodes ago we joked about like that Yelp for people concept, but I feel it as much as people say they're horrified by such a thing, it almost feels like a lot of people want that kind of thing, and that's a horrifying concept to me, because people are complicated. I'm complicated. I want to be able to make mistakes and have that just be okay.
Yeah.
And I want to extend that courtesy to everyone else. We're all just trying to get by as best we can.
Yep.
And that these are the aspects that I find so compelling about the show, and also something I find compelling about fiction in general, is that it allows us to escape our bubble of what we would consider normal, standard, like, behavior, and start to empathize with, because here's the thing, if you can empathize with like outrageous, fantastical situations and bizarre characters, then can't you empathize a little bit more with something closer to your own reality? Yep. And there've been studies about that. Like, people that consume a lot of fiction are markedly more empathetic, and I think there's a lot of good reasons for that. And I think when people shut themselves off to shows like this, and I'm not like, look, if it's not your jam, it's not your jam. I'm not trying to blame you for your own tastes. That's, there are things I don't like, whatever. But on some level, I feel like when you purposefully close yourself off to things like this, you are purposefully limiting the capacity of your own empathy. Like, you're robbing yourself of an experience to expand your mind a little bit.
That's something that I like about.
I think that's Yeah, I think that's a bit sad. That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
that's something I really like about shows like Mushoku Tensei is that it gives me food for thought. It makes me think. It makes me contemplate things. Even if I don't necessarily agree with the end result that the show comes up with, that the fiction, is trying to sell me, it at the very least gives me something to think about that is meaningful to the author. Now, admittedly, there are bad ways of going about this, Platinum, but there are bad ways of going about that. But I think Mushoku Tensei does a really good job of showcasing the author's ideals and the author's own worldview, and how people should be allowed to have flaws, develop, and improve. And that's just something I fucking love about Mushoku Tensei. It's so goddamn layered.
Yeah, and I just think it's sad when people close themselves off to experiences that could broaden their horizons a little, or because you might. I just like when things don't pull punches like this, when things are so raw and unfiltered, you get a real glimpse into how the author sees the world, and you might even come to realize that you agree with them more than you thought you would. And I think that's what I try to communicate. I try to communicate my views and what I believe, my feelings about things in my work, and I hope people take something away from that. And I hope it doesn't have to change you, but it's not such a bad thing if it does,
Yeah, that's actually something I really like about your writing as well. Like, you, yourself, your personality, you as a person comes through in your writing really strongly.
Yeah.
And I just love the way that you represent yourself in your fiction, in your writing. And even if I don't agree with some of the things you actually bring up or that you actually, express, I appreciate the new perspective and your own rationalization for it.
Yeah.
That it ends up becoming a meaningful experience for me as a reader.
Yeah.
To actually have this to kind of think about.
Yeah.
That's some of the best things about fiction, is that it can be such a unique and powerful reflection of the author.
Yeah. This is not the topic for that, but you're gonna have to tell me the things you disagree with me about, because I'm interested.
Oh, it's like very situational shit. Like, I would have to go back and reread entire passages of Drex and shit just to remember even the minute details of exactly what I had.
Right. So just in the moment, in the moment, is it just I don't agree with what the character did or what the author was saying? I hate to break for this. I'm just actually really curious.
Yeah, no, it's just momentarily, just I don't know if I would necessarily agree with that.
Yeah.
Well,
in a story direction sense, or in more like a theme sense.
Kind of thematic, and kind of just in terms of what the character is expressing. Yeah.
Like you feel like it breaks the tone, or you just don't agree with it, or
it doesn't break the tone at all. It works for the story and it works for what you're doing. It's just on a personal level, strictly personal. It's just okay.
I
don't know about that.
Okay.
We'll move on.
Okay. Well, do let me know your subjective feelings like that, because that shit does fascinate me, even if it's not an actual critique. It does. It actually does interest me a lot.
I love talking about that shit, because it's just a nice thought. It's just a nice thought experiment.
Yeah. But enough about me. This is not my topic.
Hey, y'all should read Zeke's shit too.
Yeah, this is the Refusion's topic. Yeah, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
So and it's a beautiful adaptation. It's a very well-paced adaptation. Especially for how much it adapts. I think it leaves off in a depressing but a pretty logical place too.
I would argue that it's not necessarily depressing, but it is bittersweet. Yes, Eris is going off on doing her own thing, but the final episode makes it very clear that this was a moment that was imperative, because it allows Rudy to actually move past his trauma.
Yeah.
The final scene of the final scenes of the last episode has him, again, this is going into like the direction and like the visuals of the show. It showcases him in his previous life actually venturing out beyond his room, beyond his house, and walking past himself as he was when he was being, tortured by the students at his school, moving past, literally moving past his trauma.
Oh my god, visual storytelling in my visual medium. What the fuck is this?
To improve as a person. I love that scene.
He's literally moving past it.
It's so good, though.
This is balls on a filmmaker.
It is.
It sounds so simple, but it's like so few things actually do shit like that.
It doesn't just rely on the text of the original work to tell everything. It actually it takes advantage of the fact that it is a visual medium to showcase, again, visually to the viewer, the development of the story and characters.
Yeah.
And that's what a good adaptation should do. You should be able to understand depth, nuance, and, complexities simply by watching, not necessarily, dissecting every word that every character says and, listening to massive diatribes. Even just from simple visual metaphor, you should be able to understand exactly what's going through the characters mentally. And Mushoku Tensei does that great.
Yeah. I have one nitpick about the final episode that I wanted to bring up, and it's just because I have some foreknowledge of where the novels go.
Yeah.
But I actually, that last scene with Eris where she kind of just explains her rationale for leaving.
Yeah.
I don't love that addition because I feel like the fact that we know now is going to somewhat cheapen Rudy's angst over it later.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the novels, we don't know why she left, and so we're kind of in his same frame of mind.
Yeah.
But like in the anime, they just kind of tell you, which I feel is going to make some of his angst come across as a bit overbearing. We'll see how they handle it. I
can understand why they did it. They probably just didn't want to leave off on such just a bitter note with Eris as a character.
Yeah. I don't even know if it's bitterness. I think it's just that they knew. Again, 5 years of pre-production. It's going to be a while till season 2.
Yeah.
So I think they didn't want to leave it without some sense of closure, is what I think. And I can respect that, and I can kind of get why they might not have really had a choice. But like, it's just one of those things that like, they're going to have to be careful about how they handle some of the angst going forward, because like now that we know, we can't not know, we can't be put in the same we're now separated, from Rudius. We're not in his headspace anymore because we know something about the situation that he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to affect things. That's a concern for future Zeke, though.
Yeah, it's a reasonable concern, and it is an arguable flaw of the adaptation, but if that's the only real nitpick we have.
And it's just the production and so many little things, like the organic openings where the music just plays over like the world going about itself is just so immersive.
I love,
and just like
something I noticed as I was going through is that now I have heard of anime changing up the opening depending on the arc that we're in. I have never seen an anime change up the opening depending on the setting.
Yeah.
Every time we go to a new town, it has a new opening.
Yeah, it's great. It makes it feel like a fucking living world, and it's fantastic.
And each theme is actually each opening is actually themed after like the general vibe and the visuals of where we are. Like the beachside town has this kind of relaxed atmosphere to it. Like the portside town. When we're in the beast continent and Rudy is trapped in this like jungle with a bunch of beast people, it has this kind of, for lack of a better term, Disney Tarzan vibe. but it works.
Yeah, when Phil Collins started playing, I was really confused for a second.
It literally starts off with the drums and guitar going like fucking Strangers Like Me. It was so weird, but I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, and just the background art, especially. We don't always praise background art, but background art in this show is fucking fantastic.
It's so good. Like, just the world, like, the way that the world building is, like, visually represented through the background art is so goddamn effective. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous world.
Yeah, you get to see all the details that they can't include because there was only text, you know. It's like, you know, so...
It feels lived in.
Yeah. Yeah. And I overuse the word immersive sometimes, but like it really does. It do though.
Yeah.
It do though. It immerse well. You know, it's one of the most like just engaging immersive experiences just on both a conceptual and a visual level. Not even getting into how good the writing is. You know? And that's just the mark of something really fucking special.
Yeah. Now, Zeke, I must ask you a question.
What?
It is the question everyone has been trying to figure out the entire time.
Yes.
Who's best girl?
Well, you see, I feel like I can't answer that question yet, Kevin.
Me neither.
Because it's very clearly structured in such a way where there's different arcs with them, and we've only really gotten Eris's focal arc. So
yeah, Eris has been the co-protagonist for the majority of this season, and we haven't.
You know,
really
you said that on Twitter like 2 days ago. I want you to know, determinist is a word.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew that.
I just didn't know.
Now you're making me feel like a jerk.
Words. No, I forget certain words.
Okay, I will remind you.
But yeah, she's the deuteragonist for the majority of season 1.
Yeah.
And we don't really get a whole lot of development time with Roxy or Sylphie.
Yeah.
Sylphie isn't even in most of the show.
Yeah, you can really tell because when they did those later episodes where he has those Imagine spots, they use her child design because they're like, well, we're not going to make a new design for just this scene.
Yeah.
So it's a little awkward, but like, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever. Next season, Sylphie season. Let's go.
Yay. And Roxy does get a fair amount of development. We have a good couple of episodes with her going into the Beast Continent and visiting her hometown, which that's a phenomenal episode.
Yeah.
Because that's another part of the show that, like, world building wise, I found really interesting is that Roxy is technically disabled.
Yeah.
She has,
but not by our standards.
Yeah, she has a fantasy disability because her people are actually able to communicate with each other telepathically, and she can't.
Yeah.
And that caused like a rift between her and the rest of her village, which made her scared to go back. She didn't want to go back because she felt like she didn't belong.
Yeah.
And
that's a nice, relatable thing.
Yeah, and I love her development, talking to her parents and just realizing her parents, it doesn't matter what other people in the village thought about her. The fact is, her parents didn't care about that. They just cared about the fact that, you know, Roxy is their daughter, and they want her to be the best that she can be, even despite her disability. They don't care that she has that disability. It's circumstantial.
Yeah. Also, they live in a turtle. That's pretty badass.
That's pretty cool. They all live in these giant tortoise shells. It's great.
Yeah. It's neat.
Again, it's a little piece of, like, visual world building. Yeah. Oh, God. It's so good. I also love the entire development arc of Ruijerd. We learn later that the reason Ruijerd's people are so hated and everyone is so, like, baseline scared shitless of them is because there's a curse on them. A curse that was transferred from Laplace over to the Spared, and, you know, but it's because of the actions of Rudy and Ruijerd, you know, going around helping people and trying to rehabilitate the Spared's reputation that the curse is actually weakening.
Yeah.
And God, I love the conversations that Rudy and Ruijerd have are so goddamn character rich. Anytime those two are alone in a scene is just pure character development, and it's so goddamn well done. Just watching Ruijerd realize that, you know, there were so many more options open to him to actually improve his people's standing, and he didn't think about it just because he was scared. He didn't want to venture out because he knew that people were scared, but he didn't understand how much. And there's that moment when, you know, they're in that one town, and, you know, it's after Ruijerd has, like, dyed his hair. He douses water on himself, shows everybody his real hair color, and he actually sees firsthand how everyone just runs away from them, even considering that even considering the good that he was doing for them, they were still scared of him.
Yeah.
And it's one of those small things that showcases that even though it was a curse, bigotry is not so easily fixed.
Right, yeah.
And it's only through hard work, dedication, and, like, personal sacrifice that the Spared's reputation was actually able to be rehabilitated. And we see that by the end, by these people, you know, actually meeting Ruijerd on a highway, him having saved them, and it's like, you know, I'm a Spared, right? And they're like, oh, really? That's fascinating. Do you have, like, the little gem on your forehead? And he's like, well, yeah. And they're like, oh, that's cool. You know, if I was a kid, I'd be scared shitless.
Yep.
Like, they even bring up the misconception of, you know, if you meet a Spared, they'll eat your soul or whatever the fuck. And, like, they bring that up. But things have developed so much that people don't care anymore. People just see all the good that Ruijerd has done for his own people and that he's done for other people, and that's more important.
Yeah, it's a nice, wholesome little arc.
I love it. God, it's so good. And, God. And that entire thing also helps Rudy to become a more empathetic person and kind of understand other people's situations a bit more as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that entire arc also feeds into Rudy's character development. Like, everybody Rudy meets throughout this entire journey affects him greatly.
It's nice.
And I love that we see that develop throughout the show.
Yeah.
Why is it that every other fucking isekai that came after this, that copied Mushoku Tensei, forgot to copy all of the good shit and just copied all of the baseline elements?
That's how it goes.
It's like, oh, he got transported into a fantasy world. I guess that's all I need for a concept. No, you fucking dumb motherfucker. What makes this interesting is how it affects him and how he grows beyond what he was in his previous life. That's why it's interesting. That's why Mushoku Tensei is good. You don't just, you know, throw somebody into another world and call it a day. That's not an interesting story. That's not even barely a concept. That is not a plan. That is like 12% of a plan. It's barely even a concept.
But Kevin, what if they're actually an accountant and now they're in another world?
Oh, God. You still need character growth. You still need...
Okay. I hear you, yeah. But imagine this. They really like books.
Oh my God. God, that's another thing. Like, that's something that pisses me off about Mushoku Tensei, is that I want to recommend this to other people now.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to recommend to people because it doesn't have, like, that, you know, snappy tagline recommendation thing where it's like, oh, it's an isekai, but the main character is this, or it's an isekai, but the world he goes into is kind of like this. It's literally just an isekai, but all the individual elements are done to their absolute best, and world building and character development are key in this story. Those are the two biggest strengths of Mushoku Tensei, but you can't tell people that and have them understand. They have to watch it and understand.
Yeah.
And that pisses me off.
I get you. No, I get you. You know, all, you know, derivative things from trendsetters are like that. It's like they all sell themselves. They get more publicity on their dumb gimmicks than the fundamentals that they've glossed over or ignored. It's like I told you, fucking like Arya Kanzaki is like the great granddaughter of Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah,
and that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. But like that's what you need to do to make your stupid Shauna clone stand out.
Oh God, it's so bad. Like, there's literally nothing else that affects the fact that, like, there's nothing else about Arya that is influenced by the fact that she's, the descendant of Sherlock Holmes. Like, if you took out that element, the show would be the same.
As far as I know, basically.
Yeah.
But it's like there's always, the increasingly stupid and like gimmicky isekai stuff like that always happens when people copy trends. It's just like, because now you don't just have to set yourself apart from what you're copying, you also have to set yourself apart from everyone else who's copying it, and that just creates this kind of race to the bottom effect, I guess, where eventually you're reborn as a fucking hot spring, and that's the show. The show.
But it says a lot about the strength of Mushoku Tensei as it was written way back in 2012. God, I can't believe 2012 can be considered the point where a progenitor existed. But amazing how we've developed as a society. But like, it says a lot about the strength of Mushoku Tensei that even though this is the story that so many other isekai are copying, it still feels fresh. It says a lot about it. It says a lot about it, and it also says a lot about how everybody else that came afterwards kind of misunderstood the appeal, even if they did like it. Yeah.
It's also just a matter of,
Also, watching this makes me realize how much of a parody of Mushoku Tensei Konosuba is.
A bit, yeah.
But
like,
it retroactively makes Konosuba funnier.
Yeah, and they're friends, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah.
But like, it's fuck, I forgot my train of thought. Thanks for the diatribe. Made me forget what I was gonna fucking say.
Sorry.
It's whatever. But yeah, it is interesting how like the only people who seem to know how to do this are like Ryufusion and like his two buddies from the Naruke forums, and that's like it.
Yeah.
just fucking Ryufusion and Tape and the other guy, I forget his name. I don't know his name. Yeah, that's just really funny to me. It's just like these guys who met on a fucking Familiar of Zero fan site, which
again was a Shauna clone, and that's the one that they were basing it off.
It's like this whole history. It's conflicting for me because I'm like, I don't like this timeline. I don't like this isekai timeline we live in where people took more from Familiar of Zero than Shakugan no Shauna. But on the other hand, we wouldn't have gems like Mushoku Tensei and ReZero if that was the case. So if that wasn't the case, so like,
yeah, you take the good with the bad.
Yeah. Plus, I'm sure if we follow the other path, we'd have like a fucking shitload of garbage urban fantasies that cheapen that genre. So why not?
True.
I guess what I'm getting at is that no matter what we do, 90% of everything's going to be garbage anyway. So who cares?
Yeah. It's the unfortunate. It's Sturgeon's law in effect.
Yeah. Anyway, show good, watch show. Hope for more show. I like show.
Yes, very much like show. Want more show? Please make more show.
Yeah. So yeah, big fan of Mushoku Tensei, and I think that'll be the topic.
Yeah.
Yep. So stay tuned for the last segment where we go Reddit diving.
Woohoo!
Hey, we're going Reddit diving. Get in, losers. All right, let's go. No pretense. Just jump right into it. Absolutely no pretenses, Kevin. If you even try to establish a pretense, you are out of here.
No, I'm not gonna.
Oh, I almost smelled a pretense. No pretenses. Oh, damn it. This lack of a pretense is itself a pretense.
Let's
Shit.
get into it.
Right. Am I the asshole for canceling my daughter's 10th birthday party when she didn't finish her chores on time?
Yes, what the hell?
I, 32F, have 5 children. My husband, 34, of 13 years, works full-time, and I stay with the kids. We have a small 3-bedroom treehouse and no dishwasher. You live in a treehouse?
The fuck?
Okay. Oh no, I misread. He said townhouse. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, okay. I was about to say, what the fuck kind of Tarzan shit you living in?
We have a small 3-bedroom townhouse and with no dishwasher.
Okay.
No dishwasher. We live frugally as we have a large family, student loans, and the mortgage. We teach children the value of chores from a young age. Last Sunday was my daughter's turn for dishes. She kept getting distracted by her siblings, ages 11, 8, 6, and 4, and didn't get them done. Every time I went to the kitchen, she was not there, and I had to go find her to bring her back. She said the water made her hands itchy. There were too many dishes. Eventually, it was bedtime, so I said she would have to do them tomorrow. Every day last week was the same thing. I left her to do the dishes. She wandered off playing outside or sitting watching TV. She complained that now there were even more dishes than before, and I said, that's what you get for putting it off. On Wednesday morning, I told her, if you don't finish these dishes by tomorrow at bedtime, I will cancel your birthday party. At first, she was mad and cried. Then she seemed like she didn't believe me. She washed a couple things that afternoon, but ended up playing outside again. On Thursday, she acted like the dishes didn't exist and didn't try to do them at all. So at the end of the day, I told her that the party was off, like we had talked about the day before, and she threw a massive tantrum. She said I was ruining her birthday, and she only turns 10 once. On Friday, her birthday, I sent messages to all the parents of the invited kids, letting them know that we were canceling. I let her pick what I made for dinner, and I baked a homemade cake, but she was still very grumpy with me and struggled to get along with her siblings. The party was supposed to be on Saturday. A few people who didn't get the message did show up, and I turned them away. My daughter wouldn't come out of her room and screamed at her sisters who shared the room with her. She called her aunt, my sister, on the family landline, and my sister said that I was too harsh and I've traumatized my daughter. My husband says that what we did was no one's business, and she's growing up and needs to learn how to help around the house and learn about natural consequences. I did let my sister and parents come over and bring some gifts this Sunday after my daughter tearfully finished the dishes, and we had a little family party with siblings, grandparents, and aunts. Today, some of the kids at school gave her their gifts they got for the party, so she has those, but my daughter is still moping around, and now it seems harder than ever to get her to do the chores.
I think you went a little far. Just a bit.
Top comment, YTA, she kept getting distracted by her siblings when she was cleaning up after 7 people and watching her siblings. What were you doing? Clearly not parenting.
Yeah, like, she's 10 years old. Okay?
I'm sorry, she was 9, Kevin. Actually, that just makes your point better. I don't know why I'm correcting
Exactly! It makes my point better! It's a more salient point now!
Yeah.
Like, she's getting distracted because she's a child. She's really young. She is still learning responsibility. You don't take away something as important as a birthday just because you're not doing your chores. That's just a dick move, man.
Someone said, the fact that daughter can stop mid-shore and go outside with no one seeing to her tells me that there's no parenting happening here.
Yeah, where are you when this is happening? You should be... Look, if you really want her to get those dishes done, like, you should be sitting there and, like, at the very least, coach her through it. Be there for her and show her how to do it. You know, encourage her. Like, give her rewards for doing shit right. That's a great idea. Give rewards for good behavior. Give rewards for doing things she's supposed to do.
Yeah, someone said, you expect a 10-year-old to do the dishes for 7 people. Stop having kids. I love that keeps coming up.
Yeah.
Stop buying kids, buy a damn dishwasher, and get off her back. Also, how was she getting distracted? Were they asking her to do things for them? Where were you? What were you doing as the parent to stop the other children from quote-unquote distracting her? What were their punishments for preventing her from doing her chores? Look, I'm all for kids doing chores. I give my own kids chores, but if you can't manage the house with all your kids helping out, you need to rethink some of your choices.
Exactly. And again, also, like, positive reinforcement helps.
Also, side note, allergies to dish detergent is a real thing. I'm allergic to dish soap. This started when I had continual exposure to it with barely any breaks. What would have been a normal irritation turned into a violent reaction, and now I can't be near it or near laundry detergent without gloves.
Yeah.
Also, it's a 3-bed townhouse. That is a small space for 7 people to be living in. Sounds like someone should have just stopped having kids at a certain point.
I think so. So
yeah, you were the asshole.
Oh my god. Why would you put your child through something like that? Good lord.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hold on. It's not letting me copy it. And there we go. No, that's okay. Yeah. Read the small Tifu, Kevin.
Okay. Let me open up my Discord app because I was like, I tabbed over to look at something else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a little tiny Tifu. You can read a small Tifu as a treat.
Itty bitty little baby Tifu. Today I fucked up by... Hold up. Loading. Today I fucked up by doing Molly with my husband 45 minutes before his grandfather that we live with died. Last night my husband and I wanted a special evening, so we took some Molly. Yeah, we wanted to have a good time, so we got fucked up. We live with my husband's grandparents so that we can care for them in their old age. Grandpa had just been taken to hospice the day before, but we thought we still had a few weeks. Well, about 45 minutes after taking huge doses, we get the call that he has passed and that my husband's entire family is on their way over to the house to console Grandma. We are so fucked up when they arrive, and all we can do is sit there, drink some water, and try to keep our shit together. We made it through the terrible experience and can only laugh about it this morning. We are thankful for no one noticing how fucked up we were, and even more thankful he passed and his suffering is over. He had been sick for a very, very long time. TLDR, we took Molly, our grandfather that we lived with died like immediately after, and then the whole family came over to mourn while we were fucked up.
I like the GIFs in the comments section.
Well, I can't see any of them.
Oh, you can't load GIFs?
Yeah, not on mobile.
Oh. You suck. Your phone sucks.
My phone sucks, I need a new one.
Yeah.
Oh, we're so sorry for your loss. Why is Swedish House Mafia playing? Because it was Grandpa's favorite.
Am I the asshole for tipping our waitress $20 despite her poor service because my date was playing a game with her tips?
The fuck?
I met a guy on a dating app. We hit it off and arranged our first date. Things were going well. We had sat down, started some small chat. Our waitress... First of all, the phrase is small talk.
Yeah.
Our waitress comes over asking us what we want to order. I say what I want, and I gesture to him so he can order. He orders and then pulls what I think is about $15 on the table. He says, "This is your tip. Every time you mess up, I take some away." The waitress looks nervous.
Sorry. I hate these fucking people.
The only way this could be better if he started his sentence with "Hey babe." The waitress looks nervous immediately. I'm sitting there a bit shocked, mostly embarrassed because I wasn't expecting this. She must have been new as well because she did spill some drinks on our table that night, gave us the wrong food, and overall just seemed lost. He took away $13. I asked him why he thought doing tips this way was a good idea. He said it was the best way to ensure good service. When I disagreed, he said, "Can't always be nice to these people. It's not a respectable job."
Literally fuck yourself up the ass, sir?
I decided then that I wanted nothing to do with him, called the waitress over to get the bill, and I slapped a $20 bill in her hand and got up to pay for my own meal. Later that night, he demanded to know why I'd given her the tip despite her poor service, and I told him it's because he decided to treat her livelihood like it was a game. He said because of me, she'll never improve her service, and I'm just a people pleaser. I blocked him, but I've wondered since if it was really the right thing to do.
You did entirely the right thing. That guy's a massive tool.
Also, what's wrong with being a people pleaser?
God,
I like when people are happy.
What? God, I don't understand these people who do this to wait. Do you understand how shit that kind of job is?
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize that the fact that a lot of people who work a waiting job like that, that's a last resort, man.
Mm-hmm.
And their tip, like, that is their entire paycheck. So you are literally just playing a game with her, trying to... Get fucked, man.
Someone says, "Not the asshole. That kind of game isn't even remotely a good way to ensure good service. It's a great way to fluster your server into making more mistakes because they're too hyper aware that they're being judged."
Exactly.
Or someone points out, probably more likely, a really good way to make a server deliberately and subtly ruin every part of your dining experience. I know the people at my restaurant would absolutely do that.
Oh yeah, waiters can be petty when they want to be. Like, your experience is entirely on them, and if they want to fuck you up because you're being a massive tool, they'll do it. Well, I'm gonna have to mute that in post.
Yeah.
Let me.
You just want to know.
Yeah,
You just want to know. What?
What are you doing?
yeah, I need to put down a note in my my phone to say mute what just happened.
Yeah, I guess he's working on something. He's want to know if
Anything in here wasn't working. No,
it looks like everything's on. I hope he's not minutes away from turning the power off. That would suck.
All right, there we go.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Soon.
Yeah, if there's a random cut, you'll know exactly what happened. Read this one.
Alrighty then. Let's see here. That's not it. That's it. Okay. Am I the asshole for getting mad at my sister for not using baby talk when she speaks to my daughter? Oh, God. For not using baby talk when she speaks to my daughter. My 28F sister, 31F. Look, you gotta put those in parentheses, man.
Yeah.
Looks after my daughter maybe once a month or so. She's kind of me and my husband's backup babysitter. She's a backup for the backup. Since she's not really a kid person. I know she loves and cares for her niece, but one thing that's always bothered me is that she speaks to my daughter like an adult. Doesn't baby talk with her at all. Why is that a problem?
Keep reading.
Oh god, I brought it. Fuck, dropped my phone. I brought it up with her this weekend that it bothers me, but she just brushed me off saying that she's treating her like a person. She speaks to her cats in a baby voice all the time, and when I mentioned this, she told me her cats are never learning how to speak, so it doesn't matter for them. This is a good point! I feel like she's dismissing my feelings as a mother and is prioritizing her cats over her niece? What's the correlation there? Wait, what? She thinks I'm being crazy and said that if I feel that strongly about it to find a different babysitter. My husband thinks I should have dropped the subject because now we don't have an emergency babysitter if we need one. So
He's got some pragmatism on the brain.
So am I the asshole for getting mad at my sister for not using baby talk when she speaks to my daughter? Yes, you... What? Yes, you are. Top comment. YTA. Speaking like an adult is not bad for a child and she's doing you a favor. Yeah, so... bringing up my experience with children, I have never I have never done baby talk to any of these kids. Like, I've never done the, oh, does mommy want a milky? Like, I never do that. I've never done that. And you know what? These kids developed the ability to speak fluent English faster than most other kids their age.
Yeah.
It's actually good for them that you speak to them just regularly. Just, you know, simplify what you're saying a little bit so that it's a little more easier to understand. But, like, don't talk down to them. Treat them like human beings. They are people. That's what you should be doing with kids. And it's good for their development because they understand that's how you're supposed to talk.
Yeah, I like this comment here who points out that they're the asshole for 4 reasons.
4 reasons!
Number 1, it's called baby talk for a reason. It's for babies. 3-year-olds, not babies. Number 2, what's wrong with loving one's pets? Cats aren't the same as humans. Talk to my daughter the same way you talk to animals is kind of ridiculous that you'd think baby talk is a representation of her priorities. Number 3, your post reeks of entitlement. Your sister is not your babysitter and you should be grateful she's even doing it. People get paid for babysitting, you know. Gratitude is free and your sister's getting none. Number 4, your sister is 100% correct. If you're so adamant on having your babysitter use baby talk, find another one and pay them. You're not entitled to having a free emergency babysitter, much less making stupid demands of them.
Yeah, that's pretty much my perspective on it.
Yeah. I kind of missed the part where the kid is 3 years old. Yeah, don't baby talk a 3-year-old.
Yeah, like...
That's just condescending.
I literally have a kid in this household who just turned 4, and they're almost speaking fluent English. Like, the kid understands, okay? You don't have to baby talk.
Are the asshole.
Yeah! I mean, no! It's not a good thing.
Alright, next one. Am I the asshole for telling my brother's girlfriend that it was weird for her to keep an urn of her late husband's ashes in the house?
Probably.
Okay, so this happened last night. Well, me, 23M, and my
Okay,
family were
so
visiting,
this happened.
which is weird because it's a 23-year-old man. We're visiting my brother, 30M's, girlfriend's, 30F's house for the first time. We were all sitting at the dinner table, and then I had heartburn. He didn't have heartburn, I had heartburn. And I remembered when my brother's girlfriend, who is a widow, saying that she keeps an urn of her late husband's ashes in the house. Conversation led from one thing to another. I looked at my brother and asked him quietly if he was comfortable with having his girlfriend's late husband's urn in the house. He gave me a long stare, so I figured the answer was yes, but maybe he couldn't tell his girlfriend about fearing that she'd misunderstand, maybe. So I brought it up with her and told her it was quite weird to have her late husband's urn in the house. She looked at me and was apparently caught off guard by what I said. She said she didn't think so, and that it wasn't like the urn was on display. Also said that this is her late husband's house and where the urn should be. I told her it felt weird, especially since she just had my brother move in with her, and he must be feeling uncomfortable with the idea. His girlfriend looked upset and got all quiet. My brother shouted, "None of your goddamn business. Shut your mouth, Elijah. Jesus." Also, by the way, way to name drop yourself, because his username, he used his main account. I think. At least it says Elijah on it. Maybe he's covering his name. I don't know. If he isn't, though, that's kind of dumb of him. I responded with, I mean, personally, I wouldn't be cool with my girl, keeping an urn of her ex, within close to proximate. At best, it'd make me feel uncomfortable. At worst, it'd make me feel creeped out. His girlfriend then replied by saying that I have no business dating a widow then, and I shrugged.
Ooh.
I shrugged. She excused herself to the kitchen and stayed there. My brother went off on me, calling me an obnoxious asshole for making dinner awkward and upsetting his girlfriend. I told him I was just giving my opinion, but he lashed out more. My parents and I left, and they told me my brother's girlfriend was being hypersensitive, but I went too far and upset my brother and probably sparked an argument between them, and I should reach to apologize, but I'm not sure.
You should apologize. That was not your position to, like, judge them for doing that. And can I say something?
Yeah.
My sibling is literally traveling cross country to go to a memorial service for my mother, and we plan on keeping her ashes somewhere in the house for safekeeping. So we are literally going to do the exact same thing that she's doing for her ex-husband. What do you think I think?
Also, it's their house. Where else would they put it?
Exactly. Like, fucking...
Are you gonna rent a storage shed for an urn?
Yeah.
Come on.
Fucking, you're the asshole, OP. What the hell?
Top comment, "You're the asshole. Newsflash, dude. You're not always entitled to your opinion. This is none of your business whatsoever." So think about this 3-step plan whenever you want to open your mouth to speak. Is what you're saying helpful? Is what you're saying necessary? Is what you're saying kind? If the answer to all or even just 2 of these is no, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
In this incident, the answer to all 3 is a definite no.
Yeah, like, that was not necessary at all.
I'd hate to date this guy. He's like, "Oh, you keep an urn of your ex?" It's like, why do you feel the need to compete with ashes, dude? Are you that insecure? That's what he's really getting at. Is that, like, if it were me, I'd feel insecure that my girl is keeping ashes. What, you afraid you can't measure up to ashes?
What are the ashes gonna take advantage of your girl? What the fuck?
Yeah.
What are you scared of, man?
Yeah. This is very insecure behavior.
Fucking beta male.
It's just, I can't get over that. It's like, what do you think the urn is gonna do?
You never know about these urn types.
OP, you're the asshole. Get some help. Stop it. Get some help. Kevin, would you like to read a petty revenge story?
Ooh, I love those.
All right.
There is a lot of crackling and static on your end right now.
Not my fault.
It might be your fault.
I am not eating the snap crackle pop.
Yeah, but like it's causing a lot of interference. So.
Okay, let me unplug and replug my mic real quick.
I mean, that did work last time.
All right, let me try that.
we shall just take a moment.
How's this, Kevin?
Try to say something, like, just real quick.
Yeah, hello. Am I saying things?
Yeah, you're better now.
Okay.
All right. Petty revenge. I took a present back from a rude kid's birthday party. Oh, God. New edit at the bottom. Ooh.
New edit.
24 female. At the time of this story, I was about 9 years old. Oh, okay. That gives a little bit more context. Okay, fun.
Yeah.
Childhood petty revenge. I had an across the street neighbors, whatever, that was around my age. We lived in military housing, and the parents regularly made the kids get together to keep quote-unquote friends because we moved around so much. Anyway, I was invited to a Barbie sleepover party with 2 other girls. Sorry to mention race, but it's prevalent to the story, but I am mixed and the other girls were white. Oh no. The day before the party, we picked out a skip-it to gift to the birthday girl. The day of the party, my mom got me packed for the sleepover and sent me across the street. The party itself went great, and we had cake, danced to music, birthday girl opened her gifts, forgot the T.
That's a funny mental image, though.
And loved the one I got her. Then we started to get settled to watch a movie. That's when things took a turn. I noticed the other girls laughing at me and whispering to each other. Then the birthday girl finally said, "Actually, your mom said you can't stay the night because you're dirty and need to go home and take a bath." Oh, that's racist!
Yes.
Those words have stuck with me to this day. I was confused.
I can imagine.
I was confused, but I believed her. I was 9, and it was her party.
Oh, no.
Oh, God, no. Oh, God, she went and told her parent, didn't she? So I grabbed my things and walked back to my house. Naturally, my mom questioned me when I got home, and I told her what birthday girl said. My mom was not happy when we walked back over, informed the parents, and I took back the present. My mom told me it was mine now.
Ooh.
Me, being a savage 9-year-old, played outside with my brand new skip-it while birthday girl watched me from her upstairs window. Edit to clear up some confusion. The birthday girl told me I had to go home. Her parents were not in the room. I got my things and went back to my house. Her parents didn't know I had left. My parents didn't involve me in the conversation with her parents again. I was 9. Please, this isn't a racial debate in the comments. Kids are meant to be kids because they're different. Not only did she make it...
No, they're mean to kids.
Kids are mean to kids because they're different. Not only did she make a mean comment to me, I was able to leave their house without the parents realizing. Bullying issue / safety issue. Good for your mom. I hope that someone learned something from that. Sadly, probably not. God. I can't get over that you're dirty and you need to go home. Oh.
Yeah, that's something.
That's horrifically bad.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's
girl,
a
you're 9. Girl. What are you doing being that fucking racist? Where'd you learn that?
Well, hopefully she's better today.
Oh, I hope so. Still,
yeah.
I love the fact that she's just like, afterwards she just plays outside with her skip-it while the white girl's just glaring out her window.
Yeah, love a happy ending.
Oh man, I sure do love this skip-it. That's totally mine now.
I'm glad things worked out in that instance.
God, that's just salt on the wound. I love it.
Yep.
Honestly,
right.
The kid deserved it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna read a itty bitty tiny little Tifu.
Woo!
Today I fucked up by obliterating my wife's fish.
Obliterating?
This happened last night. This was posted 3 days ago, so that happened 4 days ago, I guess.
Okay.
Wife's 8-year-old very large goldfish was passing away. Goldfish live that long? Damn.
I guess.
Had dropsy, was suffering. He was on the verge of death. Wife and I looked into the symptoms, and there was practically no hope of him ever making a recovery, so she asked me to euthanize him. Looking into the methods, it seemed pretty agreed upon that the most effective and quick way to euthanize a fish was blunt force trauma.
Oh no!
9 out of 10 scientists agree. Now, when I was a kid, my family were huge anglers, and I was designated as the fish killer when it was time to cook them. Back then, I was told to slam them on the ground as hard as I could. Well, my 8-year-old body wasn't strong enough to kill them instantaneously, so I had to do it multiple times. Honestly, kind of fucked me up a little bit. Flash forward to last night. I didn't want that happening again. I wanted it to be painless. I asked my wife to leave the room because she got very upset. I chose to do the deed by putting the fish in a plastic grocery bag and slamming it on the counter as hard as I possibly could. That poor fish was absolutely obliterated. The force ripped open the bag and sprayed bits of what used to be a goldfish in every direction. Told my wife to stay upstairs, and she started getting suspicious, so she comes down after 5 minutes, and it's just everywhere still. On the counter, on the stove, on the fridge, on the freaking Christmas tree we still have up. I was still finding pieces of it this morning. Wife was aghast and traumatized, cried until she went to bed. TLDR, I euthanized my wife's dying fish quickly, but in the most visually traumatizing way possible.
You obliterated the fish. Just imagining this fish just exploding everywhere.
I want you to keep in mind, this fish was alive, technically.
Oh my God.
This was not a corpse disposal. This was euthanization.
This is the most unethical euthanization of a fish I've ever heard of.
Someone commented, yeah, I think you might have overcompensated for your youthful fish slamming failures. Don't worry, we've all been there. Overcompensating for youthful failures is how most of us live life. Task failed successfully?
I guess so. I mean, the fish is dead.
Job well
done.
That wasn't euthanasia, that was execution. Execute order 60 fish.
Alright, we can't top that. Next one.
On the plus side, a piece of your beloved goldfish will live on with you forever, or at least until the smell helps you find it.
It was just everywhere. In the Christmas tree.
Bro, it's February. Take your tree down. You might get fish in it.
That's not a problem most people tend to have. Oh my God, send me the next one.
Okay, I'm gonna decide which one I want here.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I needed that laugh.
Okay, read this one.
I just obliterated my wife's goldfish. Oh, it's a night time. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for not paying the kids that shoveled my driveway? Oh, posted by an asshole aficionado.
Yeah.
Hello. I am one of the many in the Midwest hit by the snowpocalypse. I think we got like 14 inches where I live. I also want to pretense this with I don't like kids. I don't hate them. I just don't have any experience with kids and haven't felt the need to produce any of my own. I am female 26. I work from home and received a knock at my door today. There was a group of like 4 12-year-old boys and they had shoveled 12-year-old-ish boys. And they had shoveled my driveway and sidewalk and were now requesting payment. They expected $15 each. I was really confused because they never knocked to ask if they could shovel my driveway, they just did it without asking and were expecting to be paid. I was really just dumbstruck and kind of said, I don't have any cash, and one of them pulled up a smartphone saying that they had their mom's Venmo account. Oh God, these kids came prepared. Again, me just being extremely confused, I started saying that I never agreed to pay them for anything. I was going to shovel my driveway at lunchtime. If they had asked, I would have said no. The kids got really upset and were like, "You're not going to pay us for our work?" But again...
No, you gotta read that in the most commie accent possible. You're not going to pay us for our work?
You're not going to pay us for our work? But then again, I didn't ask them to shovel my driveway. They start yelling at me and I kind of just shut the door. Fast forward a couple of hours, their mom comes and knocks on the door. I open it and she started screaming at me for not paying their kids. Her points were, quote, were 1, it's only $60 and clearly not going to break me, not wrong. And 2, they put in the work and should be paid. Her boys did a nice thing for me, number 3. Number 4, she was proud of her boys for using their snow day to help people, and I was being really ungrateful and going to make them turn to drugs next time. What?
That's a
That's a reach.
Yeah.
Damn, girl, do you play Halo? Because that's quite a reach. This is where I started to get kind of mad. I said that I never asked for their services, and it was nice of them that they shoveled my driveway, but I never agreed to pay them, and they really should have asked first. She insisted I pay them this time, and they'll ask in the future, but I don't want to reinforce bad behavior. Just because they're children and people feel the need to let them get away with whatever, this is just not a cycle I want to perpetuate for these kids. You can't manipulate people into paying you for something they never asked for. I don't know. So far I've refused to pay, and now I'm getting torched on Nextdoor for being a heartless monster who took advantage of children. So I'm turning to you, Reddit. Am I the asshole here? If I am, I'll just pay them, I guess. I don't know if I'm not seeing the situation clearly because I just don't have any experience with kids. Edit to add, a few people don't believe that I did not hear them shoveling. That's a fair thing to be suspicious of, so we did get 14 inches, but my husband and I shoveled yesterday. I'm not sure how much we shoveled versus what was left, but these kids did not shovel 14 inches on their own. Okay, that's an important point. Mm-hmm. My home office is in the back of our house, overlooking the backyard. It's the furthest back you can get and still be inside. And 90% of the time, I have headphones in for meetings or music, so I really didn't hear them. Other question is my driveway length. It's a 2-car wide driveway and it's probably 2 cars long. It's pretty standard, so I also felt like $60 was outrageous. Yeah, no, you're not the asshole, OP.
This is called a shakedown and it's illegal.
Yep. Top comment. Not the asshole. Shakedowns are against the law. Fire back on Nextdoor if you care about that, but this is a perfectly acceptable hill to die on. Not the asshole. It's a common scam in my area of people doing quote-unquote helpful tasks and then asking to be paid for it. Firstly, I never gave permission to you to be on my property, and secondly, I never agreed to paying you to do a task I do each week/month. That's not being helpful, that's scamming.
Yep.
Yeah, that was just...
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. That was a shakedown. You did the right thing. You were under no obligation to pay them for the work that they volunteered to do themselves, happily of their own accord.
Yep.
Also, I love the thing where it's like, now the kids are going to turn to drugs after this. Like, lady. Lady.
Ah, boy. Let's see. Nah, that one's long and boring. Fuck that one.
Sometimes they be like that.
I forgot I saved this really fucking long post from our Boku no Hero Academia. Now I gotta scroll through this giant essay to get through the other one. Okay, I'm gonna read a... Come on, let me click to see that. God damn it. Medium Tifu. Woo. Medium Tifus, they could mean fucking anything.
I love that we're doing a bunch of Tifus this time around to counterbalance the fact that last episode we had literally the worst fucking people imaginable for itis.
We've had a few assholes so far.
Yeah, but not as bad as last episode.
That's true. There were some fucking gems last time. Medium Tifu. Today I fucked up. Now my parents think I'm gay. I'm not. Or are you? I'm not. Or are you? So, I bought a dildo online out of curiosity, thinking it was kind of funny. You know, I don't have the best sense of humor. However, I made the mistake of mistyping my name, so my dad, being nosy, just went ahead and opened the package without asking around. That's a recipe for misunderstandings.
Oh, no.
When he broke the question to me, let's just say I was not prepared in the least bit. If I was faced with this on a more convenient time and place, I would have been able to play it off as a joke and maybe get a few laughs out of him. Dad, being insensitive, asked me when the entire family was present, albeit not giving full attention, but still, me being a dumbass, just stood there in shock for what felt like 10 seconds. I couldn't think of a more creative answer, so I just brushed it off as a curiosity. After forcing a smile, I could see where he was at least halfway convinced, which was good enough, but holy shit, this is where things go downhill. I'm not the best at organizing my stuff, and usually things are all over the place, but it couldn't have been placed in a worse position.
Oh no.
Sometime in the evening, I felt pretty sleepy after a long day, so I decided to take a nap, but forgot to lock the door. Mother came in and saw the dildo and a bottle of lube on my bed, sleeping beside my sleeping body. There weren't many conclusions you can come to when you see that. I felt my soul die a little after being woken up. I told her that I bought it as an April Fool's gift for a friend, but could see from her face that she didn't buy it. She said she wasn't angry. She was fine with it. However, I diddled myself. I nodded awkwardly. At this point, I decided...
I diddled myself.
However, at this point, I decided the best course of action is to avoid any conversation even hinting at my fuck-up, and hopefully everyone will forget about this. Later that night, she told me that she was open-minded to new things, and that she would still love me no matter who I was. I thought I knew cringe, but this is another level. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. I wanted to tell her I wasn't gay, but I knew she wouldn't believe me. Livid at myself now, knowing that I could have avoided all this unnecessary tension, cringe, and awkwardness if I had just done a few things right. I've heard stories about parents not believing their son is gay, but never not believing that they're not gay. I'm still processing the weirdness of what happened. Knowing my parents, my only option now is to refrain from talking about anything that happened, since anything I say could now make things much worse.
You live in a sitcom, sir.
Yeah, this is a sitcom-ass situation.
Did you hear a laugh track during all of this? Did you look for a live studio audience?
So, someone commented the best advice, which is buy a fleshlight and repeat this process.
Now you're bisexual.
You're getting warmer, you know.
Oh my god, that's fucking funny. I can't imagine how bad that must be to just accidentally be like the complete misunderstanding of, oh, my son is gay. No, he's not. But unfortunately, the circumstances are so absolutely outrageous that it's impossible to reasonably explain. Mm-hmm. God, the fact that he went to sleep with the dildo and a bottle of lube next to him is just too perfect.
Couple notes for parents. Number one, don't open people's packages. And number two, don't walk into people's rooms while they're sleeping.
Yeah, this could have been avoided if the dad just didn't open the package.
And I'll read this.
Ooh, can the children stop screaming? Ooh.
We know they can't. It's been like 30 episodes or whatever. I don't know.
I don't think we've made that many since we came back.
No, but the children have been alive since before then.
Good point.
That's a funny question. Man, when we started this podcast, some of them were not alive.
True. Am I the asshole for refusing to sell my horse?
That's my horse! That's my horse!
That's my horse! And don't hit my horse!
That's the only reason I picked this.
Me, 24 female, and my boyfriend, 26, have been dating for around 9 months.
Whoa, you gotta specify the gender. I don't know what your boyfriend is now.
Need more context.
Unknown. Info. Need info.
I've been riding horses since around 4 years old when I started taking lessons. When I was 10, I started helping out this girl at the stable with her horse, Lady. At 12, she told me she had to sell due to time/interest and asked me if me and my parents wanted to buy Lady. Luckily for me, my parents were able to buy her, and she's been mine ever since. She's my bestest friend, and I love her a lot. Aww.
Fucking horse girls.
When I started to date my boyfriend, I was very honest with the fact that my horse takes a lot of time, and he was fine with this. When single, I could spend 3 or 4 hours a day in the stable, but as we started dating, I cut this down to about 3 hours every other day, as this is roughly how long it takes for me to do all of the cleaning / preparing food / writing. Also, most of my friends are at the stable, which obviously means that this is also social for me. The other days I would not ride and try to spend less time after talking, which would make it about an hour. After about 6 months, he told me I spent too much time at the stable. Jeez, of course. Friggin' entitled bastard. And I should prioritize my relationship more, and somehow his family got involved in saying it was strange to prioritize the way I did. This always goes the exact same way every single time. I'm sensing patterns here now. I've read these so much, there are patterns.
Yep.
I wasn't comfortable with this, but I am a bit of a pushover, so I agreed. At first this meant cutting down the time at the stable, but it has evolved into cutting down riding days. Now I ride around 2 days a week, and the rest I'm simply there to do the basics. All of this as quickly as I can because otherwise I know he'll be annoyed and pissed off for days and give me the silent treatment. I know my horse isn't really suffering from not being ridden as often as before, but I still feel very guilty that I'm always rushing around her. Then last night he told me that it was time to sell Lady. I laughed at him and asked if he was serious. He was. I told him no, and he said I needed to start prioritizing this relationship more, and I said I've done nothing but prioritize this relationship. We argued about it, and he apparently thinks I can just put her down as she's old anyways. Oh god, I was furious at this and told him that that was absolutely not happening, and I would never sell her. He said that any reasonable person would sell or put down their horse in favor of their boyfriend, and the only reason I wouldn't is because I only hang out with other insane horse people.
You're in a horse cult.
So I come to you, reasonable people of Reddit. Am I the asshole? No! What? The fact that he literally called all of your friends, quote, insane horse people, and he thinks it's reasonable to put down a horse to spend more time with your boyfriend, kind of says everything about him. And
oh yeah, that's normal, don't you know? You get a boyfriend, you got to shoot your horse.
Top comment: holy NTA Batman! I added the Batman.
Yeah.
Your boyfriend sounds controlling as fuck. You worked hard to compromise with him, but he keeps moving the line until he eventually gets everything he wants, and you have sacrificed everything important to you. A lot of abusive partners start the cycle by trying to isolate their partner. You have a whole support network at the barn, and he wants you to give up all of that in addition to your horse, who is like a member of your family to you. This is super messed up and a huge red flag. I know it really hurts, but be grateful. He's shown you who he really is and how he doesn't prioritize or frankly care about your feelings and well-being. I'd run, not walk away from this guy. Agreed. Agreed.
Imagine being so insecure you're jealous of a horse.
What's the horse gonna do, man?
I guess in this case it's better than the Earn guy because the horse is at least moves. But
what do you think she's gonna get some of that horse? It's not even a guy! What the fuck? It's not even a male horse!
Well, these crazy horse people, they're also known lesbians, so...
Oh my god.
Anything could happen. I love how at some point we're gonna get such a repertoire where we're just like, hey, remember the Earn guy? The same way that we sometimes bring up the fucking mason jar guy.
Remember the horse dude? Man, remember that one guy that threw a bunch of bread dough into a dumpster?
yeah, that was fun. That was fun. I think that was a woman, but that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Am I the asshole for making my girlfriend pump her own gas? That depends. Is this a euphemism or you mean that literally?
Gas, gonna pump my own gas.
Anon lives in New Jersey. Anyway, since me, 28M, ooh, he's just like us.
He's like me, for real.
And my girlfriend, 27F, oh, never mind, he's not like us.
Oh.
Started dating. Anytime she drove and had to get gas, I would pump it for her. Well, last week, it's crazy how I can tell exactly where they live. Well, last week she took me to work because her car does better in the snow than mine. When she came to pick me up from work, she was wearing pajamas, which were shorts with a long sleeve button up, which she even wore her house shoes. I was embarrassed for my coworkers to see her like that, so when she stopped for gas, to teach her a lesson.
Ugh.
Hey, okay, so look, audience. I know you're looking at me and you're thinking, this guy doesn't give good dating advice. He's never dated. He doesn't know anything about dating. He doesn't know anything about relationships. He's disinterested in these things. He's one of those weird pan-remace people. He doesn't care. He just wants his video games. But let me tell you something. If you're in a relationship and you get the thought crosses your mind, I should teach my partner a lesson. That's not a good thing. It's pretty much never a good thing.
Yeah, like don't be that guy. Don't be that person.
Don't do that. Anyway, to teach her a lesson, I told her my back was sore and she could pump it. She said it was too cold and she wanted me to do it. She's the moron who wore shorts.
Ugh.
I really like how you endear yourself to Reddit by just insulting your girlfriend on the post. That really shows your self-awareness. I really like that. I stood my ground. She pumped her own... I love the phrase, I stood my ground. Like he was... Like, they always talk like this. I stood my ground. She pumped her own gas and wouldn't talk to me during the drive. We passed a sushi place on our way home. I asked her to stop. She said no, but I kept persisting and finally said okay. She told me I would have to run in, so I did. When I came out, she had left. I told my brother because I needed a ride home. He gave me a ride home, said I was an ass and I deserved it. Your brother might be onto some shit. If there's any interest, I can update with what's happened when I got home, but it doesn't seem super relevant to my question. None seem to need to add it. Updates. First answer question. She pays for her own gas. She didn't expect to get out of the car, but she doesn't have tinted windows. I didn't expect her to dress up. I did expect her to not look like a bum, though. I'm still reading comments, so I'll add stuff that gets asked. I'll try to respond to others. We live in a fairly rural area, and I work about 45 minutes away. Apparently, my brother called my mom, who then called my girlfriend. Look, it's fine because the brother was right. So what? It's fine. You can go to the mom if you're right. Okay?
Yeah,
Like the little like the mixed race girl earlier. It's fine to go to your mom if you're actually right.
Yeah.
Who then called my girlfriend and told her what I had said. This did include me calling her a moron and saying how embarrassed I was. Clearly not that embarrassed, because then you went on to tell Reddit that.
Mm-hmm.
Unironically. And when I got back home, my girlfriend had moved all my cloths. Sorry. It's not clothing, it's just cloths. I guess he just collects cloth and belongings to the quote-unquote junk room. I tried to talk to her, but she locked herself in her room and ignored me. When I finally got her to talk to me, she basically listed everything I've done wrong in our relationship.
Ooh,
there's more? Why didn't you include that?
This was
I'd love further
I
would love further opportunities to learn exactly how bad of a boyfriend you are. OP hit us up with the deets. Anyway, this past week has been hell. She said she wouldn't take me to work when it was snowing, so I had to take myself, and my car got stuck twice. I missed 2 days of work because of her pettiness.
Ugh.
I didn't really think I was the asshole here, but I tried to justify and explain myself. I did admit I was trying to teach her a lesson, and we broke up. When I got home from work, she had all my belongings in boxes by the front door, and I guess that's that. I really didn't think I was the asshole, but obviously that's why I posted here. Everybody that wanted us to break up got what they wanted. I'm not sure if my update is too relationship based. If it gets taken down, I apologize, and whatever. Your priorities is weird. Anyway, top comment, you're the asshole for 3 reasons. Number 1, if you were embarrassed about what she was wearing, that's a you problem. It's not up to you to teach anyone a lesson.
Yeah.
Number 2, she was doing you a favor by carting your ungrateful ass to work in the first place. Even if she was wearing a thong, pasties, and a clown wig, and it were somehow your responsibility to teach her a lesson about anything, you should have pumped gas for her. 3, not content with shaming her appearance and taking it upon yourself to teach her a lesson that was not your responsibility to teach, you also demanded she stop to get you food, though I note with interest you weren't so concerned about her appearance at that point.
Yeah.
I love that she drove off and left you. Your brother is correct. She didn't deserve that treatment from you, and you don't deserve her.
And it's very clear from what you're saying that this is not the first time that you've done something like this to her, and that there is a history that you're not telling us. This says so much more about you than it does about her, and you are the asshole, OP.
If there's anything I've learned from Reddit dives, it's that there's a lot of bad boyfriends out there.
There's so many bad boyfriends. Girls, find better men. Boys, find better men. Come on.
Everybody find better. Everyone just be better, I guess.
Be better, find better people, do better.
Yeah. Let's see.
Don't send your girlfriend out just because she's wearing fucking... Teach her a lesson. Fuck you. Wow.
Teach her a lesson. Let's see here.
Hey, you know what just happened? We saw another relationship break down in real time.
Nice.
It wasn't as bad as the divorce last time, but woof.
No.
Yeah, no, that one was a journey. Everyone sucked there.
Yeah. Okay. Read this one.
Alrighty then, let's see. Am I the asshole for refusing to bake an insulting cake for a customer? Woo!
If the way is hazy.
Let's see how insensitive we're getting today. My family owns a bakery and I currently work there as a manager. The other day a man came in with, I'm assuming, his 20-something-year-old daughter and wanted to order a cake shaped like a coffin with Happy Birthday Isabel. I questioned the coffin and he explained it was his wife's 50th birthday and since she was getting old, he wanted to give her a coffin cake and dead roses. That seemed awful, like extremely abusive to me, and I guess I made a face. He said it was fine because she had a sense of humor and then was like, come on, it's not like it's all I'm getting her. It's a 50th birthday. Do you know how much money I've spent? I said I didn't feel comfortable doing that. It seems extremely cruel and I would be gutted if a partner did it to me.
It's a good thing it's not your fucking cake then.
Yeah. He asked if I was seriously judging his relationship over a prank and said I'm probably single anyway. They left in recent... Jeez.
Well, was he right?
Was it? They left, and recently we've received a scathing review from the daughter about how rude and unprofessional I was. She included pictures of the coffin cake he ended up getting, and the wife was sitting on his lap in the pictures, clearly having a fancy party or something because of how they were dressed. She looked fine/happy, though. I know I'd be very upset. My family is torn. My cousin and mom think I did the right thing, but my grandfather, aunt, and uncle all think I was way too judgy and had no right to turn down business or make him feel bad.
Who talks to their family this much?
Girl.
Family meeting. Something happened. I need everyone's opinions so I can tell the internet.
Girl, it's called gallows humor, and you need to grow a sense of humor. Like, fuck's sake. It's not your job to judge people on their relationship just because they want to get a morbid cake. Okay? Dude, I think the coffin cake's fucking funny. Dude, if someone gave me that for my 50th birthday, I'd think that was hilarious. Top comment, you're the asshole. Judging a customer's relationship over their order is very unprofessional and uncalled for. You can simply say no, citing you do not have the capability nor capacity to do this cake. You are fine to decline an offer, but if you do it like this, it will understandably affect your business. Something like this is not uncommon. Also, calling the relationship abusive? Come on. If this is a family business, it sounds like you are not the owner, but your family is. You should not decline business, especially not in the current climate, if it is something actually discriminating or violating and working against getting a bad reputation. I would lol if my fiance got me a coffin cake. I've always had a bit of an emo. I think that's supposed to be ego. So it'd be fucking hilarious on some... Oh, I've always been a bit of an emo, so it'd be fucking hilarious on so many levels. You're the asshole, OP. Yeah, no, like, they have a great sense of humor. They're cutting up and laughing over there. You saw the picture. She loved the cake. Shut up. You're the asshole.
They are the asshole. And now I will read a pro-revenge story.
Oh yeah, I love these.
Simply titled, Don't Fuck with the Valets. For some backstory, I worked as a valet in a small coastal city in college, and the restaurants I worked for were very popular for both locals and tourists. We'd generally be busy year-round, but as the restaurants were both waterfront, spring, summer, early fall were our peak season per se. The downside to these restaurants is that parking can be a huge pain in the ass. Combined, the restaurants can seat around 400 people at any given time, and can usually turn over about 2,500 seats on a busy weekend, but the parking lot can only hold about 60 to 70 cars at a time, which isn't much at all. That's why I, the valet, am here. I don't know why you talk like All Might, but okay.
We're not fair people.
To park your car! We have about 20 to 30 designated valet spots, used to have double that amount. I digress. And are really good at utilizing all of them efficiently so we can park as many cars as possible, thus getting as many tips as possible. I really hate our country. Man, sure would be great if we could just fucking walk to places. Being that the valet spots are kind of in a weird spot, but really close to the restaurant and our stand, there aren't any signs that say valet only. We usually show up a bit early and cone the spots off, so people know they aren't for self-parking. Now, most people see the cones and recognize those spots are pretty clearly not available, but some people are so dumb or such assholes they'll move the cones and park in our spots anyways. Disclaimer. There is a parking garage for overflow parking, but people don't particularly like using it. People do this pretty regularly, and we're pretty cool about it. One of the valets will normally just walk up to them as they're parking, and tell them that the spot is reserved for valet, and they'll usually comply. Obviously, this was not the case yesterday, or I wouldn't be writing this right now. While we were in full swing last night, some douchebag that is not 100 feet away from me moves a cone so we can try to sneakily take one of our spots. I was talking to a customer, so I wasn't able to immediately go tell him not to park there. After finishing up talking, I walked over to the douche as he was getting out of his car and immediately knew I had encountered this exact guy trying to do this shit before.
Oh.
After this encounter, I knew revenge was going to be necessary. Our conversation went as follows. Hey man, I'm sorry, those spots are for valet only. That's why we have the cones set up. If you'd like to self-park, you can park in the main lot pointing to the full lot or in the parking garage. The douche. But there's nowhere to fucking park in that lot, and I don't want to park in the parking garage. You guys always do this shit to me. If I valeted, I can park here. That's bullshit, bro. I'm just parking here whether you like it or not.
Oh my god.
I was pretty taken aback and basically just walked away, not wanting to get into a fight over a parking spot. I knew it was time this guy learned his lesson. Now, I don't have the authority to tow his car or give him a boot, and I wouldn't anyway because I'm not an asshole, but my power is in pure number of cars I have access to. Luckily, he did this at about 8 p.m. I contractually only have to be there till 10, at which time I can park the remaining cars in certain places and then leave the keys with the bartenders inside. Most nights I would stay to get the tips, but tonight I was dropping keys. Conveniently, Douche had parked, he just calls him Douche. Douche had parked in the area where we move cars to before we drop the keys. My plan, use the valeted cars to block Douche in and then leave him with no way of leaving until the cars around him leave. There was one car that would be particularly important, the one directly in front of him. I had a special car for that spot. It was owned by a restaurant employee that I knew wouldn't be off until 2 a.m. Perfect. I maneuvered all the cars around him in such a way that it didn't make me look like I was intentionally blocking him, but in a way that made it look like I had no other choice to. Everything fell into place perfectly, and I could already feel the justice chub starting to form.
The justice chub.
I went inside to drop the keys and explain to the restaurant manager what happened and my revenge. She loves us, and she said she'd 100% have our backs, which I figured she would.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I told her to text me and tell me how everything played out. This is the text I received last night around 11 p.m. So, the guy just came up to me pissed. He said there was a car blocking him from leaving and that it needed to be moved immediately so he could leave. I tried to explain that you guys have to put cars up there before you leave and that you even told him not to park there. I guess that made him mad, so he started raising his voice at me. The bar manager saw that and he told me that he'd been drinking for a while, which I assumed from the beginning. I told him that I couldn't, for liability reasons, allow him to drive home since he had been drinking. He got really pissed because he lives 40 minute drive away, but ended up taking an expensive Uber home. She told me that she had slipped in the argument and he was going to get another ride whether he liked it or not. I came.
I came?
No, yeah. Okay, so she told me she slipped in the argument that he was going to get a ride whether he liked it or not. Okay, so she was repeating his words back at him, and then the guy came. And yeah. TLDR, guy parks in a valet-only spot, ends up having to get an expensive Uber ride home, and the inconvenience of having to come get his car today. Edit, just a couple things to add some clarifications. Number one, this is a privately owned parking lot, as most parking lots are. The restaurant who owned it gave us permission to use the slot and told us that they wanted where they wanted our spots to be. Just because something is open to the public doesn't mean it's not privately owned. 2, these restaurants also did not want us towing or booting cars. 99% of the time, us going up and telling people they couldn't park there was sufficient, and they would move or give us their keys and we could move their cars if needed. If not, we'd bitch to them, but ultimately wouldn't or couldn't do much. 3, this happened several years ago. I just copied and pasted the story from another instance. I no longer live in this town, nor do I valet. 4, there were some signs that said valet parking only, just not enough in my opinion, maybe 2 signs for the 25 spots.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was told anyway, so...
Yeah, this is his fault. He brought this upon himself. OP was just showing him how bad of a decision he actually made.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just showcasing, well, here's worst case situation, buddy.
I think that's a pretty good one to leave off on. Let's go to the lightning round.
Pew, 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 pew.
This is where we read off the unpopular opinions of our unpopular opinion. Are these opinions unpopular? Do we agree or disagree? Let's find out.
All right,
Let's find out.
What we beginning with?
Let's see here.
Shall we?
The words bud or buddy are extremely patronizing. I wish I could give a specific reason as to why I feel this way, but I can't. All I can say is that whenever somebody calls me bud, it feels like I'm their pet chihuahua or something. Or maybe even like one of those little dorky 7-year-olds wearing a striped propeller hat or something.
Dude, I call you buddy all the time.
I know, Kevin, I've been meaning to tell you how uncomfortable that makes me.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
If you feel that way, good for you. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong, but, you know.
That is entirely a personal thing.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion, the onion is the MVP of ingredients. Fuck no, I hate onions.
It depends. Like, I like onions on some things, but like on other things I just take it off, so it's like, it's whatever.
Unpopular opinion, being young doesn't mean you have to be wild to make bad decisions. Using your youth as an excuse to do shitty things is a cheap excuse. Now, I think that this person is fundamentally misunderstanding the phrase.
Yeah.
This is not the excuse the people make. It's just describing what happens. You know, nobody's out there saying, I can be wild and make bad decisions because I'm young. People don't say that. People just do it. You know, that's not the excuse they're making. It's just a descriptor of what happens.
It's just a thing that occurs because you lack life experience, and you need that life experience. And sometimes the best way to get that experience is through making the mistake. Some people don't really learn well from others. They best learn through experience, unfortunately. And you really got to take into account that they probably don't understand the ramifications of their actions in a lot of these situations, but damn, if they fuck up once, they're not going to fuck up again. So, or they're not going to do that particular fuck up again. So, you need to be a little bit more understanding there.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion, if someone tells me they don't like books, I immediately think less of them as a person. I have an unpopular opinion. If someone tells me that when they see people who don't like books, they think of them less as a person, I think of them less as a person.
Yeah, I think you're just a massive shithead. What the fuck? That's such a weird hill to die on.
Yeah, anyone who tries to, like, moralize hobbies like that, shut up.
Yeah.
Not moral, it's, you know, like, ascribe certain levels of intellect or whatever. I don't know. This is a complicated phrase. Unpopular opinion, adults should play with toys.
I literally have a shitload of toys in my closet lined up in a row right now. So, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Unpopular opinion, piercings are kind of gross.
I think they look cool.
I don't like how popular nipple piercings are getting these days.
Okay, I don't like... okay. I don't like nipple piercings or genital piercings. I think that's a bit much. Personally, not a fan, but like a nose ring or like an ear ring or a gauge or something, it's not that bad.
What do you think about lip rings?
Those can look pretty badass.
Yeah.
Though it would make for weird kissing.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, aesthetically I like it, but functionally it causes some issues.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion, alcohol is the worst drug. Yeah, honestly, F tier. Not even that good, honestly.
Wow. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, what does known alcoholic Kevin Faulkner think about this one?
Yeah, that's the weird thing. You keep bringing up the ones where it's like super judgmental of alcohol and people who drink it, and then there's me over here who is trying to make sure that I am totally not an alcoholic, but you're literally putting me in situations where I have to defend alcohol. It doesn't bode well for me. Jeez. That said, there are worse drugs. There are so many more worse drugs.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta read.
It's just, I'm reminded of the fucking scene in Breaking Bad where it's like, this is a damn good cup of coffee. Why the hell are we cooking meth?
Okay. Unpopular opinion, there is no such thing as an offensive joke. There's no such thing as an offensive joke. If someone is genuinely spitting violent hatred towards another person, that is not a joke. Hate speech is unacceptable. If there is genuine malicious intent behind what they're saying, that's not a joke. The only intent of a joke should be to provide humor, be it light or dark. And then top comment, there's no such thing as an offensive joke, except when it's offensive. Then it's not a joke. Therefore, there's no such thing as an offensive joke. This is a really weird version of No True Scotsman.
It is. What the fuck? I think that just answers the question.
Yeah. So no, you're right, but you're not correct.
You're right in the wrong way.
All right, this one doesn't even have a simple yes or no. It's just like you're right, but you provided the logic, so
yeah.
Anyway, unpopular opinion: forehead kisses are underrated.
Yes.
You know, in the land of the rising sun, it's a way of wishing good luck.
Neat.
I think we knew that.
Yeah.
I'm just telling everyone else in case they don't know. If you see that in anime a lot, that's what that is.
Yeah.
It's like a way of wishing good fortune. Unpopular opinion: just because food is authentic doesn't mean it tastes better.
You know what? Yeah, it could use more deep frying.
Yeah, that, and also it's like, yeah, sometimes the authentic way is not the way I like it. You know, like I don't like corn tortillas. Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer flour.
Yeah.
Then again, I'm white.
Unpopular opinion: employees of stores, stop following us. I guarantee you they're being told to do that. They don't want to do that.
Yeah, like they need to be on hand so that anybody who requires assistance can immediately ask for it. So it's literally just part of their job. It's what they're supposed to do. They're doing that so that if you need something, if somebody needs something, they don't have to go very far to get it.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion: I hate it when every app is trying to be every other app. Yeah, I hate the homogenization of the internet too. It sucks.
Yeah, we've been on this tangent before.
Unpopular opinion: I think vanilla Coke is far better than regular Coca-Cola.
It depends.
Why you gotta make kings fight?
Exactly. Like, it depends on my mood. Sometimes I like a regular Coke. Sometimes I like a vanilla Coke. You know, sometimes I like a cherry Coke.
Unpopular opinion: parents who name their kids Rylan or Braylon are pathetic. Why is that your business?
Why do you gotta hang up with that name?
What? People just hate the letter Y for some reason, I've noticed.
Yay!
Unpopular opinion: water fasting is just another way of hiding an eating disorder. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion: getting a comment is better than an upvote. Yes, empirically. On a similar note, getting comments is better than kudos. People, get on it.
Yeah, because, like, it doesn't take a lot of effort to just, click the thumbs up on a comment or whatever. It takes effort, and it takes, like, actual thought to comment.
It's also, like, it's individualized, because all upvotes are the same. All kudos are the same.
Yeah.
Comments aren't.
Every comment is individualized.
Unpopular opinion: people seek too much attention on social media. No, I don't. Shut up. Unpopular opinion: stop shaming older people for trying to live life to the fullest. How about we stop shaming all people for trying to live life to the fullest?
Let Grandma ride her chopper.
Unpopular opinion: using the multiverse to make crossover movies is lame. We're gonna get to a point where it gets really lame. I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah,
We're getting there.
right now it's pretty cool though.
Yeah, but soon it'll be lame, just like
Yeah.
everything else. Just like isekai were good once, and then they're all bad. So you know. Yep. 1 sec. I need context. Let me read that. I didn't mean to open a new window.
No.
Nobody ever opens new windows. There's new tabs, new tabs, new tabs.
Yeah, every time I open a new window on my computer, it's like I have the RAM to open up a tab. Come on.
Yeah, that one sucks. Yeah, whatever.
Fuck that one.
Yeah, that one's fuck that one. It was. If you want to know what it was, it's perfectly okay to tell young people they can save money by cutting back on avocado toast.
Oh God.
So, yeah, I was like, maybe there's a good point, or at least some fun boomer shit to laugh at. But no, it was just long and boring.
Man,
and
shut up,
stupid.
boomer.
Unpopular opinion, low value.
Boomer. Okay.
Low
boomer. Sorry.
Can I go?
Yes.
Can I continue? Yeah. Can I do my podcast?
Yes. It's my podcast too.
It's my channel. I can finally say it's mine.
I'm the one who has to edit it.
We're at a stalemate. Let's just keep things as they are.
Okay.
Unpopular opinion, low value coins like the penny should be scrapped. Yes. I mean, we would have solved this problem if they didn't make it illegal to do so in 2006.
Yep.
We could have all just melted our fucking pennies for their copper worth and be done with it, but no.
No.
So yeah, you're correct.
Yeah, you're right.
You're correct. Yeah. Unpopular opinion, ghosting people is a terrible habit.
It is.
Yeah. I can't help but notice that every friend that's ever been really bad at communicating has also been a friend that turned out to not be my friend anymore after a certain period of time. I'm not saying correlation, causation, whatever. I'm just saying it's a pattern I've noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't ghost people.
Ghosting
Unpopular
people
opinion
is bad. Okay.
Unpopular opinion, Dr. Pepper sucks. Popular opinion, user Suki Kyoshi Warrior sucks. You suck.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper fucking rocks, man. People keep saying it's like, oh, it tastes like medicine. The fuck Dr. Pepper you drinking?
What the fuck medicine are you drinking? I want some of that.
Yeah, that sounds like some good ass medicine.
Yeah. Yeah. Unpopular opinion, alcohol is gross and worse than most drugs.
Didn't we literally just have the same one like 10
It's a
minutes
different
ago?
guy, I'm telling you. It's a different guy. Different guy, Kevin. Different guy.
Okay,
It's fair.
all right.
It's fair. It's fair. Unpopular opinion, bathrooms should play loud music.
God, imagine you're just trying to take a shit and Slayer just starts going over the intercom.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I think I agree with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in here fighting for my life, and suddenly I hear over the intercom, "Ain't no mountain high enough."
Yep. That's the future I want. This is like the fourth one I've seen today where it's just like bed and breakfasts are too romanticized. They suck. It's like, what? Who are these people that have this much issue with bed and breakfast?
I
Jesus
don't know.
Christ.
Jeez. People have the weirdest hangups about shit.
Oh no! Sorry, I read this wrong. This isn't bed and breakfast. This is breakfast in bed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's romanticized more than it should be. It kind of sucks. Sure, it's nice if someone made you breakfast, but lying in bed while you're eating over easy eggs has to be the worst possible way to enjoy your food.
Also, you get crumbs everywhere.
Yep. He's like, you're probably comfortable, but now you're sitting upright with a tray in your lap as a table trying to eat with a fork and knife. There's nothing relaxing. There's nothing functional about it. Enjoy your ab workout while you eat your bacon, I guess, and God help you if you get toast crumbs in your bed.
Jeez.
Yeah, we agree. Yeah. Make me breakfast. Just, I'm gonna go downstairs. Unpopular opinion, I don't think flat earthers are inherently stupid. OP is a flat earther.
OP is a flat earther.
Yeah, there's a few paragraphs here.
Do we really need to read it?
You know, just because you asked that, I'm gonna read it.
No!
Now, I know it's a pretty stupid idea to think the Earth is flat, which was disproved thousands of years ago with just some sticks and horses, but I don't think people who believe this idea are stupid. I actually think that some of them are pretty smart. It's just that critical thinking was never taught to them, and I think we approach them in the wrong way. These people possess some aspects of critical thinking. They question what they were presented with, but the problem is, the moment they were presented something that disproves an idea, they take it to heart without looking any further. Then they start reading some internet disregarding any articles proving the Earth is round because they have a counterproof, and this is the point where we're at the problem. At this point, they are juggling with the idea, but we call them stupid just because they thought about it. We ostracize them, so they search for a group that thinks like them, which makes them more radicalized and gives them the idea that everyone else is stupid. They go too far down the rabbit hole. This is why we see flat earthers disprove themselves, but keep believing. They were mocked by everyone and left behind old social circles. They admit that they were wrong. If they admit they were wrong, all this would have been for nothing, and they think not being able to prove this would make them stupid, which is not true. Being smart is not about being able to prove something, it's about being able to change your mind. In conclusion, flat earthers have a form of half-baked critical thinking, and they are distrustful even though one counter-argument was enough for them in the past. Because we reject them, they hang on to the idea that they disproved themselves multiple times with actually logical experiments. When somebody comes to you with a weird idea, don't ridicule them. Have a discussion with them.
Well, shit. Okay, that actually did end up being very useful. Read it. Okay, you know what? Fair. Fair. Fair enough.
Yep. Top comment. The problem with flat earthers is simple. They have a belief. If any factual information threatens that belief, they attack it, dismiss it, or use a warped sense of logic to say it isn't correct. This same problem is what causes most political disagreements.
Yep.
People want validations for their beliefs, not facts that might contradict their faith.
Yeah, and that's an unfortunate disposition a lot of people have.
And to argue with OP for a second, there's really only so much you can coddle ignorant people.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. I do. I empathize with that point. I think it's reasonable on a personal level that people dig themselves in when everyone calls them stupid. When people just shut them out like that. I understand that on an emotional level. I do. But there's only so much coddling you can do before you're just like, just stop being stupid. Anyway.
Yeah, after a point, it's just banging your head against the wall.
Unpopular opinion, McDonald's is terrible. I had McDonald's last night, and let me tell you, I know I've ranted about this before, but it's getting worse. The sad state of the crispy chicken sandwich.
I haven't had it in a while.
The one I got last night was the thinnest, fucking smallest ass, fucking nothing ass chicken sandwich I've ever. It used to be thicker, like a meaty chicken sandwich, and now it's like fucking nothing.
Are you sure you didn't just order a McChicken?
No, I ordered the crispy chicken sandwich.
The fuck?
Also, I'm going to bring it up again. They put them in bags now instead of boxes, and it sucks because it just gets trapped with its own emissions and softens itself. It sucks.
This is actually one place where Burger King absolutely has McDonald's completely beat. The new Chiking is fucking good.
I'm so mad the Burger King near me closed during COVID.
I highly suggest trying the Chiking. It's so good.
Yeah, there's another one, but it's a lot farther away. The one by my house near where this McDonald's is closed over the pandemic.
I wonder if there's a Burger King near the convention center.
Oh, yeah. We should get their mozzarella sticks.
Ooh, that sounds super good.
I'm actually really hungry right now. Unpopular opinion, beatboxing never sounds good. Well, for Tane himself, I have presented... Let's give our counter arguments, Kevin. I think that'll do.
I'll do.
Unpopular opinion, I despise the words toxic and unhealthy in a social context.
That sounds pretty toxic and unhealthy, OP.
You know what? I don't hate them on a conceptual level. I just hate the 12-year-olds that don't understand them.
Yeah. It's misused a lot. The problem isn't that the words themselves are bad. It's just that the misuse of them is bad. Or
the misappropriation of them for. Unpopular opinion, formal wear with sneakers is trashy. OP must have watched the Game Awards. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Unpopular opinion, I like the feeling of not being a part of a group.
I'm
not
a
wrong.
loner.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion, it should be completely normal for anyone to not want to drive. In a civilized society, sure.
Yeah.
But we don't live in one of those.
Yeah, in a society where you don't have to, where you shouldn't have to need to, sure, but unfortunately it's one of the situations where, damn you if you don't. Ugh.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion, Sega were awesome at naming consoles, Nintendo are awful.
I'm having a hard time disputing this, because,
Yeah.
let's be fair.
They're right. They're right.
Genesis, Mega Drive, Master System, Saturn,
Dreamcast.
Come on.
Yeah, meanwhile, Nintendo's like, Wii.
Wii
The
U.
Wii. Nintendo 64.
Nintendo. Super Nintendo.
Nintendo DS.
GameCube is pretty good, though.
Yeah, it's not a bad one.
Switch is really good. Like, Switch is just a nice, snappy name.
Deceptively good.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, no, these all suck. Okay, that's it. That's the end of the show.
Okay.
Yep.
I think
Thank
we
you.
had a nice time.
Yeah, I am weirdly hungry. Anyway, thank you for listening to the Gaijin show. You can be a part of the show. Did you know that? By emailing us at bakagaijinshow@gmail.com or joining our official Discord server in the link provided below. You can also follow us on Twitter at @CCharmanderK and @ZeekFreak. That's that one. I'm this one. I don't know why I said that backwards. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel. That'd be pretty dope and based and prove you have a huge dick. That'd be great. We post new episodes all the fucking time. There probably won't be one next week though, because we're gonna be at a convention.
Yep.
Maybe we'll do something, maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so if we don't post one next week, that's why. We'll probably be back the following week to talk about what we did at the convention, which is probably get shot by domestic terrorists.
I can't wait.
This is America. Anyway, thanks for listening to the Baka Gaijin show. Zeke freak out. Ciao, ciao for now.